And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere. Where do I begin? First of all, hey, sorry I had to miss Wednesday, but I'll tell you about that. It was a great time out there in Scottsdale, Gilbert, Phoenix, Arizona. Really good time. Love Scottsdale. Fantastic weather this time of year. 75, sunny. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But of course, we got to talk about Alec Baldwin. Talking about, he didn't pull the trigger. Well, how did the gun go off, sir? How does a single action revolver just shoot two people without the trigger being manipulated with no human interaction? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Jim Cramer, a stocks guy that's okay with stocks, stock advice, on CNBC, talking about he supports the federales enforcing a vax mandate nationwide, regardless of whether you have a job or not. You could just be a regular guy at the house, and they say, hey, papers please, where's your vax? Now you're going to take it by force. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Chris Cuomo, breaking news, he's been fired from the Comedy News Network over improper source gathering to protect his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. We'll talk about that. Also, the Michigan shooter is in custody, as are his parents. And Trevor Noah is flying a little bit close to the sun on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you are hearing thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That helps me out tremendously. Also, you guys may have noticed there's the dislike button is gone. But anybody gonna dislike this video, so it don't even make a difference. We might get a couple people that don't like it, but it's all good. Also, you can find this particular show in audio only form on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to those platforms and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And of course, shout out to my sponsors. Got to give them a shout out. Shout out to me, myself. ABLmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more, all available through the link in the description box, or just go straight to ABLmerch.com. That's MERCH. Also go to AnthonyBLogan.com. For every video that I create, I also write an article myself, 100% me, and I link to my sources in that article. So nobody can ever say, oh, ABL, you made that up. That's not real. That's an illegitimate source. I have sources from all over the place, from the left, right, center. It doesn't matter. So go to AnthonyBLogan.com for all those articles. And also you can go to the contact page of that website to find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media platforms, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all on AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. And then, of course, shout out to BHEDesigns.com. I get emails every day saying, hey, man, X, Y, and Z said they love the flags. Where can I find the flags? Well, you can find these flags. The wooden handmade American flags are right behind me, just like that, or ones of your very own, over on BHEDesigns.com. The link will be in the description box. All right. Oh, of course, shout out to PatriotPost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. They've been around for a long time, 25 plus years. You can find their link in the description box. Tell them ABL sent you when you visit. So let's get straight into what we got to talk about. I'll read super chats a little bit later before we do the actual calls. But first things first, where do I start? I'm going to talk about the book launch event, Apu. I will talk about the book launch event in a minute once everybody starts to pile on in. But I think I'm going to start with the Michigan shooter first. I'm going to start straight there. And I think that'd be a good way to get to the other ones. Now, the Michigan shooter, 15-year-old by the name of Ethan Crumley, somewhere close to Detroit. I'm not exactly sure where this town was. You guys, of course, know, so y'all let me know in the comments what town this was. But a 15-year-old by the name of Ethan Crumley took, I guess, his father's pistol to school, shot and killed 4 students and injured 7 others. May they rest in peace, and may all those who have been shot get well soon. I wish you all a speedy recovery. Now, there's a lot of controversy because the parents are also charged. The 15-year-old has been charged as an adult, so he's pretty much toast. There's no bail, unlike the 18-year-old adult Timothy Simpkins out there in Arlington, Texas, who shot the school up. And, you know, nobody died in his case, but still, he was able to get bond for $75,000. There's no bond in this case in Michigan, which is good. I think both Timothy Simpkins and Ethan Crumley should be locked up with no bond. But I guess you got a certain kind of privilege, right? But different story. And I digress. I don't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, at least not this early. But anyway, so Ethan Crumley is in jail with no bond. He's not going to get out. They got all kind of charges on his back. He will probably never come home again. If he was being charged as a juvenile, he might come home at a certain point. But since he charged him as an adult, it's over. Now his parents are being charged with involuntary manslaughter. 4 counts of it because of the 4 people that have died. Now, his parents did not go to the school and shoot anybody. His parents did not instruct him to shoot anyone. So why are the parents being charged? Well, let's talk about it. On Black Friday, just a few days ago this year, after Thanksgiving, the father purchased a pistol at a sale, Black Friday sale. And I think the son was posing with the pistol on social media, talking about, you know, this is my new baby, X, Y, and Z, showing the gun off. And I'm not quite sure if the father was encouraging it or if the mother was encouraging it, but regardless of what's going on, the son at one point had the gun in his hands, but I don't believe it was in his possession because the gun was kept in the drawer in the parents' room. But the problem was that the gun was not secured. It was just out there. You could just go to it and get it. Now, I don't believe that there was any prior indication that the son had issues, mental problems. I'm reading some places where they said that they knew, meaning the school knew about the son having some kind of problems before, but I'm not quite sure if that's true. All that I know is that on the morning of the shooting, the parents were called to the school for a meeting about their son and some concerning behavior. Well, not behavior. It was a concerning drawing. The teacher saw a drawing on his desk, and it had the gun and some blood and some really troubling stuff talking about my life is dead, my life is over. You know, if you see something like that, you would think, okay, something's wrong. Let's get him some help. Let's do something, right? So the parents come to the school, and the boy goes to the office. They have a meeting. And at the end of the meeting, they concluded by saying, okay, you guys need to give him some counseling within 48 hours. Get him in counseling. This is an emergency or whatever. But after that, it was over. The parents went back to wherever they were, probably back home. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the boy go back to class. He goes back to his class like nothing happened. There was no other action. He was not taken home, you know, just sent home for the day, because it's like, all right, if you're drawing something like that and they say, get him some counseling within 48 hours, he may need some assistance right then and there because something might be wrong at that moment. But that didn't happen. He went back to his class and the parents left. So shortly afterwards, the kid goes to the bathroom and he now has the gun. I think it was in his backpack. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then he goes on a rampage. He shoots and kills 4 people, injures 7. Now, during this rampage or sometime before, or I guess it might have been before, the parents, I guess, go back to the house and they realize the gun is not in the drawer where they left it. So now they're putting 2 and 2 together like, oh, okay, the gun is probably at the school and he was drawing that stuff. So now the wheels starting to click, right? So the mother texts the son saying, Ethan, don't do it, meaning don't go on the rampage. I'm not quite sure when that text was sent, but obviously it didn't help because he went on the rampage. Now, they got the son, he's in custody, but then they were like, okay, the parents need to be charged here. Now, the prosecutor said out of her own mouth, I think it was on the press conference, she's been quoted saying this. She's saying the reason why she's charging the parents is to send a message to people that own guns to be a responsible gun owner. Now, check it out. You can have your political things or whatever. You can go out there and protest. You can go out there and say certain things. But to charge someone with a crime, to make a point, to, use them as an example, that's not right, is it? If you charge someone with a crime, it's because they have committed a crime or they need to be in jail due to committing the crime, not because they're being used as an example to others. That's not how this whole thing should go. But she said that on camera, on tape, during the press conference. She's charging them because she's trying to send a message to other gun owners, be responsible with the gun. So I guess the whole thing was, okay, you guys did not have the gun locked up. You guys let your son pose with it on social media. Therefore, this is partly your fault that he went and took the gun and then killed his classmates and injured other classmates. Now, I don't think that's appropriate, really. That's not appropriate because that's going down a deep, dark rabbit hole. You can hold parents criminally liable for a variety of things if that's the case. How many of these gangbangers, 11 years old, 12 years old, shooting and killing people, breaking in houses, using their parents' weapons, selling their parents' pills? I mean, that goes on all the time. Now, is it the parents' fault? Maybe to a certain extent, but not necessarily to where they're criminally liable for people dying. Because if you're going to have that be the case, then it can't just be in this one case to try and prove a point or make a political statement or to get your name out there some more on social media or on the internet. It needs to be a legitimate reason, right? And then I think there's also some other political stuff here. They're trying to push these red flag laws. So they may say, all right, there's a red flag about this boy and the drawing and some erratic behavior. So when we see that, we have the right to not seize his guns as the boy because he does not legally have any guns. We're not going to seize him. We're going to seize the guns from the father because the guns are in the house. So now we're trying to strengthen red flag laws. Also, they're trying to come against handguns in general. I've said this before right on this channel, and a lot of you guys have been there for a while. You've heard it. Remember when I said they keep talking about rifles, semi-automatic rifle, AR-15, it's deadly, it's military semi-automatic. They keep saying that phrase, semi-automatic, over and over again. So at a certain point, your regular, everyday, kind of smooth brain normie says, oh, semi-automatic, AR-15, that's the worst gun in the world. And it kills everybody. That you could just hold the button down and it sprays. That's what they think because they don't know any better. They only rely upon what the media tell them, and they extrapolate from that how the media makes them feel. You see, when you keep talking about an AR-15 being so dangerous and deadly, they look at it like it's the worst gun in the world. They look at it like it's a Call of Duty weapon that just sprays bullets all over the place. So when they hear the term semi-automatic, they don't even know what that means. They just associate it with the AR-15. They associate it with spraying bullets. So then I'm reading some of the articles and they're saying stuff like semi-automatic handgun. It's like, really? Is that needed? Do you have to call it semi-automatic? How many handguns are not semi-automatic? Ain't too many guys running around with revolvers. Some guys have revolvers. Shout out to the revolver gang. Alec Baldwin. I'll talk about him a little bit later. But it's not too many guys running around with revolvers. Most guys are going to have 9mm semi-auto handguns with a rack slide. That's just what it is, okay? And then you have ignorant statements from people like, what's her name? Joyanne Reed, the funny hair lady on MS-13 DNC. Let me try to find this right quick. Oh, here's a statement I want to find. I want to show you guys. Okay, so let me put this right here. This statement is crazy, but it just kind of goes to show the ignorance of people. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right, it says, this is one of the 6-hour models. If it looks like a Glock, that's because it is like a Glock. It's similar in style and function. This is not a thing you give to a kid or let a kid get access to if you know anything at all about kids. Now, if you knew about guns, Miss Joyanne Reed, you would know that Glock is just a brand name of a pistol. That's it. Just like the AR-15. And really, not even like the AR, because the AR is a brand name, but it also refers to a style of a rifle. You could put attachments on it and stuff like that. But this ain't nothing but a 9mm pistol. Well, not even a 9mm. That's like something else right there. But basically, it's a handgun. It's a pistol. Okay. There's all types of pistols that look just like this, but they use the term Glock because that's scary, and they show it in the movies, and it'll be the guy holding it sideways like that, right? And give me your money, sucker. They want to try to push that whole narrative, right? They want to push that narrative to make everybody afraid. That's the whole thing. So when they say stuff like Glock, semi-automatic, military, high power, all this and that and the third, the objective is to try and ban guns like this, which ain't nothing but a pistol, off of the market. So that's pretty much all your guns. You can't have a long gun. You can't have a handgun. I mean, what are they going to do? Say no more shotguns, no more flintlock pistols, no more knives eventually, I suppose. No more heavy cars because you might be hit somebody, run them over. You know, no more front grills to your truck. You see what I'm saying? So, but see, that's the whole thing. These people are just ignorant, and they say pretty much whatever. Any handgun, it could be a 40 cal, 9mm, 357. It don't matter. They just say, oh well, that's a Glock. It's a 9. You know, the old school 1999 rap song stuff. I got a 9 in my drawers. That type of stuff. But anyway, I'll move on. The whole point is that this is being politicized when it should be about the people that were killed and their families. That should be the whole purpose of any kind of commentary on the whole situation, but it's being used politically. Who was that said, do not let good tragedies go to waste? That's what this is right here. Never let a good tragedy go to waste. That's what's going on. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, to get back to the parents, I almost forgot about them. So the parents allegedly were on the run. They said they took $4,000 out of an ATM machine near Detroit and they turned their phones off. They said the police were pinging their phones to track a location, but they turned their phones off. Now, I don't believe that if your phone goes off, they stop tracking you. I don't believe that. That might be kind of a smokescreen right there. I think they can track you regardless of what's going on. They can find you. I think the federales are in the back. Look, if the federales want to find you, they can find you for the most part. Like if you're a regular person, they can find you. You didn't even really go anywhere. You went like to Detroit and you live in Michigan. You didn't flee. Like I heard about a story of a guy, a regular white dude in the hood. He fled to Ireland because of a drug case. A regular, I ain't talking about no rich guy. I'm talking about a regular white dude in the hood. You know, the quote unquote crazy white boy. He fled to Ireland on a drug charge. These two people did not really go anywhere. So I'm not really buying the whole thing about, they couldn't track him because their phones were off. But I'll move on. The whole point is that they were found in a warehouse. I guess they were hiding. Now, their attorneys were saying that the authorities said they were on the run prematurely, that they weren't on the run, that they were just afraid and they left their house because they didn't want to have any kind of, they didn't want to have anybody come to the house and try to kill them or hurt them or something like that. You've seen the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing. You've seen a lot of these high profile cases get in the media and people that are affected, people that are like let's say they were seen as somehow responsible. That could be a lot of negative retaliation against them. Their addresses leaked somehow to the media, quote unquote, and then they become a target. I'm not quite sure if that's what's going on or they were just on the run. But regardless of what's going on, they were found in the warehouse in Detroit. I guess they were hiding, and now they're in jail. They have a bond. It's like $500,000 each, so $1 million total for their bond. I'm not sure how it is in Michigan, if you got to pay the full bond or 20%, 10%, but whatever the case, they're in custody in the same jail as their son. Now, I keep seeing cases like this happen, while at the same time, I'm keep getting informed. I keep being told that if you're a black person and you shoot a school up, they're gonna kill you instantly, and There's never any justice, all this, that, and the third. But we saw Timothy Simpkins out there in Dallas, or pardon me, Arlington. I don't want to lump y'all together, but in Arlington, Texas, right by Dallas Fort Worth, he shot his school up and was able to go to the jailhouse and bond out $75,000 bond. And I'm not sure if he had to put the whole thing up or a piece of it. But regardless, he was out, had a party with his family, drinking orange drink and chicken wings and all this and that and the third. His family members loving on him and smiling, posting pictures with heart emojis, all this, that. He's able to get out. Now, somebody's going to say, well, he was being bullied. No, he wasn't. Stop the nonsense. Stop the cap, as the cool kids say. He was not getting bullied. He had a drug debt, allegedly, with someone outside the school. And then when they saw him in the school, there was a fight. They got into it. He shot him. And he also shot innocent bystanders. And even if it was some kind of drug thing, or even if he was getting bullied, does that mean he can bring a gun to school and kill people? No, it doesn't, because a lot of these school shooters had the same problem. They're being bullied in school. They're the outcast. They're the outsider. They feel like, life ain't worth living. And then they go to school with a gun and then they shoot people. That's what happens a lot of times with these school shootings. So there's no excuse to bring a gun to school and kill people or shoot them. And someone going to also say that people that he shot didn't die. Well, the one boy that he shot was still fighting for his life when he got released on the bond. They set the bond while the one boy was in the hospital almost dead. So he could have died in that process. Meanwhile, he was granted bond. So, I think that a lot of these cases have become political because everything is political. So when a case similar to it pops up, it becomes by default political when it shouldn't be that way. It should be about that particular case and finding justice. That's all it is. That's all that it is. Yeah, that was a very tone-deaf press conference from the family speaking about Timothy Simpkins out there in Arlington, Texas. Very tone-deaf. And this case here, we'll see what happens. I'm not sure that the parents should be locked up. What do you guys think? Should the parents in the case in Detroit or in the Detroit area, Michigan, should they go to the penitentiary for what happened here? Is it their fault that their son went and took the weapon, took it to school and went on the rampage? Is it their fault? Is it his fault, or both? I say it's his fault. I'm not saying the parents are perfect. All they really did was not secure the weapon, but is that involuntary manslaughter? Is that the equivalent to that? Because what if somebody breaks in your house and takes the weapon that was not secured? Are you liable for that? If that weapon is used in the murder or a robbery or carjacking or something like that? So if you're not liable when someone steals it from your home that you don't know, why are you liable when somebody steals it from your home that you do know? So again, if the charges against the parents stick, that's a really slippery slope and a dangerous path to go in. It's a dangerous precedent set. But then again, it's not really a precedent. I think there was a different case in Michigan where someone got locked up for what their kid did, having a gun in school and shooting somebody, killing them. Somebody got like 6 years in the penitentiary for that crime, for the same type of thing, involuntary manslaughter. So you guys let me know. I'm seeing mixed messages. I'm seeing no, both. I think we can all agree that the kid is responsible. Okay, you're 15 years old. You're bringing a gun to school. You're responsible. But are the parents responsible? And if they are responsible, to what extent? Should they go to the penitentiary? What should happen here? Should it be some kind of civil penalty? I'm not really sure what's going on, but we'll see. We shall see. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. But yeah, this case will be used for political purposes. Let's run them down again. Pardon me. You have red flag laws. You have gun control for handguns, not just long rifles like AR, handguns, semi-automatic, red flag, handgun control, liability of the parents if the kids do anything wrong. There's a lot of stuff going on there. But we'll see when the case, kind of unfolds how the whole thing goes on. A fine for the parent. Yeah, and also the parents ran. That was bad. You know, running away, that's really bad for the court because you're going to go to court regardless. They're going to find you. Like, ain't no point in going on a run. That's not going to, you might as well go ahead and give up or turn yourself into the police. Don't go on the run. Communicate with the police and then say, hey, we don't feel safe. We feel like we got to leave our home because we don't want to, step out in front of it rather than having them come find you. Because now you're in a bad situation. Now you look guilty. You look 100% guilty. So don't do that. Don't run because they're going to find you. And when they find you, it's going to be worse. Right? But we shall see. Let's get to a few more topics here. And thank y'all again for joining. If you guys enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Speaking about weapons and semi-automatic handguns, talk about Alec Baldwin. Now, Alec Baldwin, you guys remember the whole situation with the movie called Rust that he was the producer of or a producer on. I think it's his movie. It's set out there in Mexico, and there was a staff that was experienced with this kind of work. They probably all came from LA to go out there work on the film, but there was all kind of red flags popping off, all kind of red flags. It was an unsafe set. There have been multiple misfirings, accidental discharges of weapons on the set before the tragedy happened. The entire staff, or most of it, walked off, left, and then when they came back to retrieve their belongings, a brand new staff came right in their place. There was a new staff of local people from Mexico. And the problems only got worse after that because you got a bunch of people that aren't necessarily that experienced. Maybe they are kind of experienced, but not like the previous staff was. There was all kind of red flags. There was all kind of problems. It was an unsafe set. Somebody got bit by a spider and their arm was looking like, a half-eaten flat chicken wing. It was nasty, real gross. Don't Google it just for your own safety. But anyway, it was a messed up set. People were handling guns because this is like a country western movie. So you're going to have all these old-timey revolvers and stuff like that. And of course, you got to have blanks in them so you're not killing people or injuring anybody on set. You got to have blank ammunition. There's no reason to have live ammunition on set at all because what are you doing? And if you're going to have live ammo, let it be in a certain part of the set where it does not mix with the blank ammo. Some people from the set were loading the guns with live ammo and plinking. And if you guys know what that is, they were taking beer cans, probably empty because they'd been drinking, but that's a different story. They were taking beer cans and just shooting for target practice, having a good old time with live ammunition. So these same guns were going to be used in the movie where you got to shoot at people, but not actually because you got to use blank rounds. Now, unfortunately, Alec Baldwin aimed his gun at the cinematographer, Helena Hutchins, may she rest in peace, and the director by the name of Joe Sousa. Now, the gun, quote unquote, went off, hit the young lady, Helena Hutchins, killed her. The bullet went through her and hit the guy, Joe Sousa, the director. Now, Alec Baldwin said he did not actually pull the trigger on the revolver. Now, how does that really work? A lot of you guys are good with guns. I'm not necessarily a gun guy. I had a bunch of guns back in the day, but you know what happened. It was a boating accident. It was terrible, man. It was on the news. It was on the paper. Kids were crying everywhere. Flames were shooting all over the place. But anyway, from what I know about guns or these single action revolvers, the way it works is, well, normally what you do is you cock the hammer back, the actual, hammer on the back of the weapon, you cock it back and it stays in place. You pull the trigger to release the hammer. And when that happens, the hammer hits the back of the weapon, striking the firing pin, therefore firing the weapon, and the bullet comes out. That's how it works. Cock the hammer back, pull the trigger, boom. Now, what he said was, Alec Baldwin that is, What he said is that he pulled the hammer back, but didn't fully cock it. He half cocked it and let it go. And then that was enough to let it go off to actually fire the weapon. Now, I'm not sure if that's possible. I'm not sure if it was already cocked and he pulled it back again and then let it go. I don't know what happened, but regardless of what's going on, he still aimed the gun. He still fired the gun. He still had manipulation over the gun. Like, it wasn't like he just had the gun. It wasn't like he had the gun given to him by somebody, and as soon as it got into his hands, it just exploded. That's not what happened. He was aiming the gun and manipulating it at somebody. Okay. And then once he let the hammer go, it hit the pin, according to him, and then the gun fires. Now, he's saying that he didn't know there was a live round in it. He didn't know there was any live rounds on set. But how do you not know there's any live rounds on set when they're going plinking? You don't see the beer cans being shot? You don't see that? When you come on set, you don't know what's going on? Do you know who your staff is? It's your movie. Do you know who works there? Do you know what's going on at all? So, I mean, I find that kind of hard to believe. You guys let me know. How does that really work? Does a revolver just go off by itself? A single action revolver? Is what he said plausible? And if what he said is correct, he did not cock it all the way. He half cocked it, released it, and then it fired. Does that absolve him of any kind of problems, any kind of penalty legally? Is he free from prosecution? How does that really work? Now, understand this, there's an investigation going on right now, a legal one, into the whole case. So he could go to the penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks, if they determine that he was responsible and or negligent in this particular case. Either way it goes, he can say, I ain't pulled the trigger or whatever, but he still handled the weapon and aimed it at somebody, and somebody's dead now. So what you gonna do? How does that really, what's the next course of action? There will be a civil penalty for sure. He will get sued. It kind of goes without saying, he will get sued. But will he go to jail? Will anything serious happen to him? I'm not quite sure. Okay, some says, no, it won't fire like that. Plausible. Still negligent discharge, though. Exactly. Lone Wolf says, no, you need a finger to pull the trigger, or his finger can slip off the hammer. Yeah, something happened with that, because he had it in his hand. He was manipulating it. And also the scene, that there was no scene that called for that at that time. He was practicing with the weapon. Now he says, he kind of blames the victim here. He was like, well, she told me to point at a particular place, and I did that, and I did what I was trying to do. But see, you can't aim your weapon at someone and then it goes off, because ultimately it's your movie. You're the executive director or producer. So if you don't want to aim your weapon somewhere, you say, I don't want to do that. How are they going to tell you what to do? You're the boss. I could see if he was talent and they say, okay, do X, Y, and Z, and he does it to keep his job, but it's your movie, sir. You have the right to veto something like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to point it at you. I'll make sure that I'll point it somewhere else rather than right at you. So, hey man, pay the cost to be the boss. And that's just one thing I got to say about this whole situation with the guns and, the Michigan situation with Joy Reid talking about this is a Glock, although it was a 6-hour 357. We got to have a lot of gun education. People just don't know about guns. They have no idea what's going on. They think they know, but they don't. They don't. They're ignorant to what guns are. All they know is they think guns are bad, guns are dangerous. They don't understand proper gun safety. They don't get it. This is why you have these accidents that happen, quote unquote accidents. This is why people say things about guns that aren't true, spreading propaganda, misinformation, because they're ignorant. It's ignorance and just straight propaganda artists doing what they do, spreading misinformation and lies. People like Joy Reid will get handed a script or something talking about the Glock is the worst gun ever. It could be written by a competitor. She don't know. Whatever she says is controlled by someone else on the outside. That's why I like being here. I say what I say straight from me. There's no influence on me. There's no corporate master talking about say this, say this, say that, say that. I say what I want to say, and that's it. So that's why I enjoy being able to talk right here, 100%. But we'll see what's going on. Are they going to try to blame? Are they going to say that the gun did it? Oh, the gun shot him. The gun went off by itself. The gun did it. The semi-automatic handgun. The handgun did it in the case of the Michigan shooting. Oh, the SUV did it, not the driver in Waukesha. Not him, not the dreadhead dude driving. Oh, nah, he didn't just drive through a pile of elderly women and kill them. Nope, it was the SUV that did it on its own. It became sentient. It became auto driving and had murder on his mind, right? That's what went down. No human interaction. Does it make any sense to you? Of course it doesn't, but the way the media want to cover things, that's how they operate. That's how they try to explain it. Like, oh no, there was no human interaction. They did not do that on their own. It was a mechanical problem. It was a mechanical failure. That's what's going on, right? So let me see what's going on here. But you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. Thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you. If you guys enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Now, let's talk about some more stuff here. Oh, my man, Chris Cuomo got fired today. Shout out to Chris Cuomo for getting fired from CNN, the Comedy News Network. Now, I'm not really surprised here. See, this is what they do over on the left. And it's funny every time I see it, and I keep talking about it. Now, what am I saying? What am I getting at? Well, on the left, you have these people that are like foot soldiers, right? And whenever they are needed, they are praised by the media, by politicians, by everyone, by the who's who. They love them. Oh, you're the greatest. You're an excellent journalist. You have the best hard-hitting stories. If they do anything wrong, they'll be excused. During the whole lockdown thing, he's arguing with his neighbor, no mask on. Let it go. It's Chris Cuomo. It's fine. Why was that going on? Well, his brother's a governor. So you got favor right there. You want to get something done? You want some back rub, some elbow scratch? It's all good. I got to connect straight to the governor. You see, the governor's not there anymore. Not only is he not there anymore, he also left in disgrace because of the whole sexual harassment kerfuffle, because of the whole Me Too situation. So now that he's gone, and he's no longer a factor, he's old news. We don't need you anymore. Bye. That's what happened. So now CNN has fired Chris Cuomo, and it always happens. It always happens like this. The left, they say they love you. You're the best thing in the world, blah, 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 blah. Remember Michael Avenatti? Remember they were trying to gas him up, talking about you could be the next president? Remember that? And then when the whole Stormy Daniels thing popped off, when she was talking about he's extorted me, all this and that. And then when the whole Nike extortion, all kind of problems came up, all these legal issues. And then it looked like Biden was going to get the number. When all these things came about, Michael Avenatti was gone. When he got locked up, bye. It reminds me of these guys that are like in the street, the gangbangers, right? They feel like, oh man, I got love in my hood. They love me. I'm the best, blah, 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 blah. They feel like that, but then when they get locked up, all that love go away. All the, you the best, I love you, bro, that goes away. You be right in that cell by yourself trying to write some raps for when you get out. You'll get no visits, no money, no nothing. You be in jail by yourself. All that love goes away. And that's what's going on right here. These people on the left, they want to be strong foot soldiers. They'll fight you in public over what they believe in. The vax is great. Take your vax. Wear your mask. They'll fight you over it. They'll fight you over what they're being told to fight you over. But then when those who are telling them to fight for certain things don't need them anymore, bye. So all they're saying right here, the reason why he got fired is because he had some, I guess, unscrupulous means of collecting information and or trying to protect his brother, the governor or former governor. Basically, it was just improper. I mean, everybody saw it from the beginning. It's improper to have these kind of connections. All right, you're an anchor on CNN and your brother's a governor. So you have your brother on. It's going to be some bias. Obviously, this is your brother, your blood brother. I don't care if you guys say, well, I'm professional, all this, that, and the third. You will be biased towards your brother who you grew up with. I can see if you never knew him. Y'all got the same dad who was also the governor of New York. I come from a very important family. You guys are very close. So that was going to be inappropriate from the beginning because you're not going to get an unbiased interview or interaction with Andrew Cuomo on CNN because Chris is there. But now that he's gone, speaking about Andrew, so are you. If he did this, and you know what the thing is, the reason why I say that is because I feel like what's happening right now and these quote unquote allegations about him using unscrupulous means and all this and that, and all these things were known about, in my humble opinion, from the beginning. How could you not know about it? Why would anybody not think that's going on? It was tolerated because they had a need for him, but now they don't. He's gone. Michael Avenatti, same thing. They'll throw you away in a heartbeat. That's how it goes. So, yeah. Now, I heard one of you guys, might have been on the last show, ask me about CNN possibly being purchased by someone. I forget who it was by. They said it could be purchased and then rebranded as more of a center-right network. Well, you got a long way to go before you get rid of Chris Cuomo. Like, there's a long way after that. That's one way to start is firing Chris Cuomo. But how about Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper and everybody else? Fire the whole staff. Fire the big dog, Jeff Zucker, because that's really where the problem's coming from, is on top. Okay, when you lead, they shall follow. Where are they following you to? The pit of hell, but I move on. Anyway, fire everybody on there and put like a Newsmax cast on there. Then I rock with it. Because, people can change. At one point, CNN was not that bad. It was respectable. But now it's not. It's simply not. A lot of news media is all about shock value, clickbait, stuff like that. And speaking about YouTube in the dislike bar, a quick shout out, no sponsor, no plug here, but there's an extension called Return YouTube Dislike on Chrome. If you have the Chrome browser, Return YouTube Dislike. And when you add that extension, you're able to see dislikes on videos. So when you go to the YouTube curated section of virus videos, you can actually see how many dislikes the video have. Because that's why I'm gonna say this for a minute, just before we get to the next topic. The reason why YouTube removed the dislike bar is because they want to protect certain videos and they want you to watch it regardless of the negative feedback that it's getting. Example would be stuff like I said, all their virus videos, the old school YouTube wrap up, things like that. Anything dealing with a victimhood narrative. Oh, he was shot because he was black. Anything like that people don't like, they want you to watch it. It's like forcing you to watch clickbait. And it's really bad because I'm a tech guy. I like tech. I like, tinkering with stuff, and that's what I like to do. And sometimes I get stuck on a particular thing and I gotta find a tutorial. Now, not all tutorials are made equal. You have some very good tutorials and some very bad ones. And I'm able to judge a bad tutorial from the likes and the dislikes. Usually they're pretty much on point. If it got a lot of dislikes on it, it's not solving the problem. If it has a bunch of likes on it, it'll probably solve the problem normally. So it's a big time expense to have to try and sift through that with no dislike bar visible. You can still dislike videos, but you can't see how many dislikes there are, which is very important. Extremely important. But yeah, it's all over the internet. It's all over, it's all over YouTube with this whole dislike thing being removed. But I got that extension, the browser extension called Return YouTube Dislike. You gotta get it because it shows the actual dislikes the way it was before, right? And any kind of video with the virus saying, "Oh well, it's all good. The vaccines are good," they're gonna get disliked to the moon and back, to the moon and back. All right, so that was my little rant on that one. But let me get back to the show here. Speaking about rants, speaking about crazy people, let's talk about Jim Cramer, shall we? Now, Jim Cramer is a TV host for CNBC, right? Now, CNBC is a place where you get money advice, money tips, and Jim Cramer is a stock guy. I've not taken a lot of his stock advice. I heard he's okay when it comes to stocks. Not necessarily a guru or a savant or something like that, which nobody can be with stocks because it can be kind of unpredictable, aside from someone with blue chips, but I'm going to get down there. Anyway, he's not necessarily some kind of great, fantastic sage when it comes to stock, but he's pretty good at stock advice. But he decided to go on a rant about the vax, saying that it should be federally mandated, and if you don't want to take it, then hey man, you're gonna have a problem. The military is going to be on your back. Let me see if I can find that audio right quick. Oh, here it is. If you guys have not seen my video, let's play him right here. And before I play it, I just want to say God bless the USA because we still got them weapons. I'm going to talk about the Australia person in a minute as well because this kind of ties into that. So y'all don't let me forget. Let's go to the video. Let's get some sound. Let's get rocking.
Lord knows what happened if you didn't partake. But back then, anyone who refused to get vaccinated would get ratted out immediately because we knew that person could hurt other people. The commonweal was a commonweal. Now we're engaged in a similar struggle with COVID, and Eisenhower would be aghast. We have immunocompromised people who are incubators for every variant to come, walking around lawfully unvaccinated? That's psychotic. We have companies that have tried hard to get people vaccinated and now backing down. We have governors who want to be president by grandstanding on a foolish states' right issue, the right to get sick, get other people sick. So it's time to admit that we have to go to war against COVID. Require vaccination universally. Have the military run it. If you don't want to get vaccinated, you better be ready to prove your conscientious objector status in court. And even then, you need to help in the war effort by staying home until we finally beat this thing.
So much wrong said there. So much wrong said there. From a moral standpoint and from a legal standpoint and from a scientific standpoint. The first thing is you don't beat viruses. You do not beat viruses. Viruses don't go away. Have we beaten the common cold yet? Or the flu? Or the house in Virginia? The big H? Have we beaten those viruses yet? No. You don't beat viruses. You just, all you can do is treat them. So having a vax to me is dumb because you can't beat it. The vax ain't going to beat it. It's just, so you can't beat this. Like, this is what people think. Jim Cramer might be okay at financial advice, but is obviously not a scientific person, not a logical person. He's watching the news and listening to guys like Joe Biden talking about, oh, we're going to beat this thing. No, we're not, because you can't beat no virus. That's not how it works. Okay, try beating the common cold first. Beat that. Get rid of the common cold, and then we can talk about viruses being eliminated. You don't beat viruses, number one. And then number two, the whole thing about staying home, you know what? Rather than saying if you unvaxxed, stay home, how about if you scared, stay home? If you're afraid and you don't want to get exposed and blah, 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 all right, you stay home. That's fine. I don't got no problem with that. Now, you're not going to get no government benefits for staying home. You better figure out a way to have a at-home business, do some drop shipping or something like that. Cook some plates out of your kitchen and sell them out your front door. But you can't just sit home and collect monies from the federales. That's not how it's supposed to work. Because all you're doing at that point is just ruining society. You're ruining drive. Because what happens is when people just get money to stay home, they don't have any drive to go out there and do anything. All they're going to do for regular people, regular normies, is A, nothing, B, get fat, C, get high, D, get drunk, E, play video games. Nothing against playing video games, but if you ain't doing nothing but that, you got a problem. You got to be, you got to have a productive life. You got to be able to produce things and do things and enjoy the fruits of your labor. You can't just stay at home and do nothing and be rewarded. So if you want to stay home, go ahead. That's your business, but don't expect a reward from the government. Now, elephant in the room, and no hate toward anybody or any kind of ethnic group. Y'all know I'm not a hater, but Jim Cramer is clearly Jewish, obviously. Now, how would his parents or his grandparents feel about him advocating for something like this? It sounds very familiar, right? Oh, you don't want to get with the program. You want to spread disease. You want to be a disease spreader. You want to manipulate with the economy. All right, how about you go over there to that camp? Go over there to that camp and don't come out. Go over there, do that, don't come out. Matter of fact, while you in there, since you in that camp, work on them crops and stuff like that. The food's kind of low because we got supply chain shortages. So, hey, man, if you get some food today, it'd be great. But if you don't, man, you got to live with it. We're repeating history all over again. It's starting to come back. So how can you not see this? Like, how do you, this is your history, Jim Cramer. How do you not understand what's going on here? Luckily for him and anyone who thinks like him, that can't happen in the U.S. Some may want it to happen, but it can't happen for the majority of us because we still have our weapons here. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm not going, you're not going to just keep me at the house. You're not going to send me to no camp. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to force me to get that thing. You can suggest whatever you want to suggest. You can get on TV and say, hey, get vax, saves lives. If you want to get it, fantastic, great. I encourage you, if you want it, to go get it. If you want it. But if you don't want it, then you shouldn't be forced to get it. It's simple. If you want to make a decision for yourself medically, that's going to be the best thing, then great. If it won't be the best thing, then that's great too. You have the freedom to make that choice in America, or at least you should have the freedom to make a choice in America. Not quite sure how Jim Cramer thinks, but no, I'm not going to go for it. Ain't going to be no federal rally, sticking no needle in my arm. It just ain't, it's not going down, period. Okay, over my cold debt. But anyway, I'll move right along. We're getting kind of triggered here. Speaking about having guns and not getting vax, shout out to Australia. Hey, you guys are watching. It's rough out there, man. Prayers out to you guys. But there was a young lady, or is, pardon me, in Australia who got locked up in what can only be described as an internment camp. I don't know what that was. They said it's a quarantine camp. But how is it a quarantine camp if you're negative for the virus? What are you being quarantined for? What's the purpose of the quarantine? Somebody tell me that. I don't really understand. Right? But matter of fact, I'll explain that a little bit later. So let me find a clip right quick if you guys haven't seen it. Let me pull it up right fast. Give me 1 second. I just want the short clip. There we go. This is from Unheard, UNHERD on Twitter. And let's roll it up right quick. Let's get to the jank.
I just waited for someone to come and test me. No one came to test me. The next people who rocked up at my house were 2 other police officers. They blocked my driveway.
These are actually uniformed police officers, normal police officers.
Yeah. So then the police officers blocked my driveway. I walked out and I said, what's going on? Are you guys testing me for COVID? What's happening? They said, no, you're getting taken away and you have no choice. You're going to Howard Springs. You either come with us now and we'll put you in the back of the divvy van, or you can have a choice to get a COVID cab. So, of course, I chose the COVID cab because they said, well, if we're to take you, we're going to hand you a $5,000 fine. So, of course, I didn't want that to happen. So I just said, look, I don't consent to this. I don't understand why I can't just self-isolate at home like a lot of other people are doing. And they just said, we've just been told from higher up where to take you, and that's all that there is.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. Let's get some context here. If you guys have not seen this already, here's some context. Now, her coworker had caught the bug. So they may have been some kind of contact tracing they were doing in that particular part of Australia, but they saw her with him, maybe at work or after work or whatever, and they tracked her by her license plate number. So they went to her crib straight away. They didn't call her and say, hey, you may have been exposed to X, Y, and Z person. Get yourself tested, self-quarantine. Nope. They went straight to her crib. And it wasn't the federales or the police. It was private investigators, plain clothes. 2 guys that come to her crib, knocking on the door, and they're asking her questions. Now, at this point, if she answers improperly, she's in trouble. Keep that in mind. But they're asking her stuff like, hey, are you feeling sick? And have you had a test and stuff like that? Now, to the question about have you had a test, she answered, yes, I have had a test. But she actually didn't. And she confessed later, maybe that same time when they were there or at a different point in time, that she hadn't had the test, and she lied about that. So they were like, all right, look, don't worry about it. It's fine. No worries. As they say in Oz, no worries. We'll send someone to give you a test. Just stay right here at your house. Don't worry about it. So nobody actually comes to deliver the test. The police come. And when the police come, that's where the story picks up. And they were like, look, check it out. You're going to Howard Springs, the internment camp or the quarantine camp. You have no choice. So get in the back of the paddy wagon, divvy van or whatever. And if you do that option, we'll fine you $5,000. So they're going to fine you to take you away from your house without your choice. Or get into the COVID cab and there'll be no fine. So the choice is yours, right? You got a choice. Come with us and get fined $5,000 or go into the cab and there won't be no charge. So she had to go away to the thing for 14 days. And she was asking the whole time for a test and they were denying her a test. When she finally did get a test, it came up negative. And she was like, okay, if I'm negative, can I go? She was like, nah, you got 14 days in here. And they put her in this little thing. I saw this meme video back in the day. Well, not back in the day, but probably about a year or so ago of China, I think. It was these small little apartment type houses that they were in, and you couldn't really go anywhere. There's fencing. They were like a prison camp without the work part. But I said it before. Food might get kind of scarce, and they're low on workers because of the inflation. All right, check it out. We got some crops out back, 10 of the crops. And you get to get some of the crops to eat for yourself, and it pays for your rent right here. That's called sharecropping, but really it's slavery because you're not free to leave whenever you want to leave. Now you're actually in slavery. See how easy that is? But anyway, so she was never positive, never had it. She did 14 days there. And when she came back, she called the local CDC in Australia to get answers. Like, why was I in that camp when I didn't have the bug? What's the point? And also, if I had the bug, why couldn't I just stay at home and self-quarantine like everybody else does? Why take me away from my house and send me to that camp? The person on the phone said, you probably were sent to the camp because you lied to the private investigators. Remember, you said you had a test, but you didn't have one. So it was probably punitive action, not for your safety, not for rehabilitation purposes. It was because you lied. You got locked up. You got punished for lying. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I mean, like, shouldn't that be a crime you have the ability to bond out of jail for in the U.S., or you might get a trial date or something to see if you actually did it or not? Not just punished and then sent back home and then that's it. That's not how that works, is it? Okay, you got to be read your rights and all that kind of stuff. Nope, not in Australia. But I tell you what, though, they don't have guns there. They gave them up in the 90s, I think. They had this whole big thing where they were burning guns, selling the guns in the 90s. But here in the States, oh no, that's not going down. I'm not going to no Howard Springs deterrent camp. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. So don't even try it. Just don't do it. Don't deny me of my rights. I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't break any laws. So leave me alone. It should be simple as that, right? I'm not breaking the laws. Leave me alone. We have that right by force here in America to a certain extent. Out here where I live in a free state. If you're living in California, God bless you. It's not quite necessarily that way all over California. You know, San Fran, LA is a little bit weird. But where I live, that's just not going on. Okay, the mask Nazis and the vax Nazis, papers please, that's not going on here at all, period. And it's not going to go on because they know that it ain't going to fly. We don't tolerate that here, period. Okay, they're talking about, the Californians coming to Nashville and whatnot. No amount of Californians in Nashville will change the overall structure of Tennessee. All these mountainous communities, and it just ain't going to go down. It's just not happening. Go to Nashville all you want to. Pat Williamson County, that's fine. Or Davidson, not Williamson. Go to Davidson County, pack that. You don't have Williamson County money, and that's fine. Pack Davidson, but don't go beyond that. Period. But I digress. So yeah, that's crazy about Australia. You guys, I'm praying for you guys because that's not going to go on here. It will not happen. But that shows you how much the Second Amendment is so very important. It's not just because you want to hunt and go fish. It's not even really, it's to protect against a tyrannical government. And I would say that if you get locked up for lying to a private investigator, not even in court, not even to an officer, but to a PI, you get locked up for that, 2 weeks for that. That's tyranny. That's pure tyranny. 1,000%. We don't do that here. At least not in my neck of the woods. I don't know about you guys. I don't know where you live, but we don't do that. Okay. Now, did I get everything? I got to, Trevor Noah, my man Trevor Noah. Speaking about the vax and stuff like that. Now, Trevor Noah, he kind of went off the reservation a little bit. He said some things that make him a little bit of trouble, a little bit of hot water. Now, you guys know who Trevor Noah is. He is the quote-unquote comedian that hosts the Daily Show over on Comedy Central. And I guess it's a real show. It takes seriously, but at the same time, it's not. It's kind of weird. He talks about news, but he has jokes in there as well. It's all leftist stuff for the most part. All Black Lives Matter, all this and that, LGBTQ, elemental P, X, Y, and Z. It's all that kind of stuff in there. But he kind of went left a little bit and was talking about the new strain of the bug. And you know what? One thing about Trevor Noah is that he's South African. So that might be the reason why he had something to say. Because remember, the travel ban focused on South Africa, Namibia, Lesotho, Swaziland, etc. All the nations south of like Mozambique, basically. So that's probably why he was like, wait a minute. So imagine if you're Trevor Noah, right? You're on Comedy Central. You're pro-vax, pro-Anthony Fauci. You got an Anthony Fauci Snuggie, a pillow, a pacifier, all that good stuff, right? You're all in for the Democratic Party. And then they say you can't go home. And your mom can't come to the U.S. Why? Oh, it's a travel ban. A travel ban? Trump's gone. Who's the racist? Oh, Joe Biden. Joe Biden, why is there a travel ban on my home? Why can't I go back to the house? Why can't my grandma come visit me during Christmas? Oh, because there's a new strain in the book called Omicron. Omicron? What is that? Peloton? I don't have no Peloton at my house. Why am I being blocked? Oh, because it's a new strain of the bug and they want to keep everybody safe. So now you're doing research and you see that most of the cases are mild. It's not really a big deal. So you're asking the question, why is there a travel ban? Why is everybody freaking out over this? It's not even really a big deal. So here's what he said. I'll put it on the screen right here. All right.
On the one hand, almost all the Omicron cases have been mild so far. But on the other hand, the guy who stands to gain millions of dollars from new vaccines says we need new vaccines. If we don't make a new vaccine, this disease could be with us forever. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. Now, look, I'm not saying that the CEO of Moderna is lying. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I don't think he's the most objective source on this topic. I'll wait to hear what neutral experts say about a new vaccine. People like public health officials or the CEO of Johnson & Johnson. I mean, he's got nothing to gain because nobody's going to buy his vaccines either way. So I trust him.
So there you have it. I mean, now, is that a true red pill moment? Is that a true moment of clarity from Trevor Noah? Like, what do y'all think? Is it kind of a misdirection? I think that he's realizing that he's being affected. See, it's funny how that works, right? When people around you are saying, or like the quote unquote other side are saying something's happening, and you say, oh, that's not really real. But then when you're affected, it's like, wait a minute, now I understand. Now I get it. See, a lot of us, we've lived lives and we've seen things, we've experienced things, and we understand how the world is. But a lot of these normies have never really experienced anything that we've experienced. But when you go through it, it's like, wait a minute. Okay, now light bulb goes off. Purple pill. Is he still blue pill? Is he still grifting? He may be, but maybe not. I mean, I tell you what, though, I'll give him credit for saying that on TV. Even if it ain't real, somebody will take it as being real and do a little bit of digging and be like, wait a minute, there's money to make. Because let's be clear. Let's be 1,000% crystal clear. And y'all got to see me. I'm going to talk straight here. It's all about money, period. All about money. Do you know they could just pretty much print money at Pfizer? Print it. You guys have seen that video I showed you with all the TV stations sponsored by Pfizer, all the TV shows, all the TV stations brought to you by Pfizer, brought to you by. They have endless money. And you know what? The vax is perfect because you don't pay for it directly. No, you pay for it through your tax money. So when you see these bills coming out, they're going to make, okay, a $2 trillion bill, $3 trillion bill. How much of that money is going to Big Pharma? How much of your taxpayer money will be refunded into politicians to make them vote for what Big Pharma wants? You understand? So here's an example of what I'm trying to say. Let's say Pfizer lobbies the government to have them be front in line to be the guys to make the vax. And the government passes a bill, Build Back Better, $8 trillion. Oh, it's going to fix roads and schools, and that ain't going to fix nothing. Your life won't change at all. But what's going to happen is, if you want that vax, oh, they'll be available readily because of the federal money that they are taking from that bill to make it happen. And how are you going to print all this money? What's going to happen? Inflation. So when you go to the store and you're paying 50% more for milk, bread, cheese, eggs, meat, whatever, when you're paying all that money more, that is your tax right there. You're paying for the vax, whether you want to or not, because they have gone over your head and went straight to the federales to make them print more money from the Federal Reserve and give you the bill on the back end. So you could be rich, broke, whatever, anything in between, you're going to pay. That's how it works. That's what it is. You see, money and power. And then when they support a candidate and they're the top donor of that candidate, that person will get in office and then pass bills like that to get them more money. It's all about money. It's it. It ain't nothing else to it. It's simple. People like Anthony Fauci we know he's dumb. Give me Joe Rogan over Anthony Fauci any day of the week. I just saw Dana White got the bug. And then I saw like the next day he was cured thanks to Joe Rogan. Now, messing with Anthony Fauci, you be on the vent and dead. You be on the vent and dead messing with Anthony Fauci. But Joe Rogan got him cured in one day. Cured. He got a test. Ain't no more virus in his body at all. Done. Cured. Fauci's there because of financial interests, because of money. He's not a good person to have in that particular role. He is a spokesperson for the money, for the lobbyists. It's so simple. So what Trevor Noah said was correct. Now, is he going to maintain that energy for the rest of the show, I doubt it. He probably right back to talking about January 6th, stuff like that. Like, he probably said something about January 6th in that same show where he said that about the Moderna and stuff like that. But still, that was the moment of clarity for a person that's still asleep. Okay, like he's still in the Matrix pod, but they gave him like a piece of a red pill. They gave him a half a red pill. He had a brief moment awake. Right back to sleep, though. Right back to sleep. That's right, Peter. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. 1,000%. Absolutely. Yeah, Fauci has control. His wife has control. It's all about money and control. That's power. That's it. It ain't about helping you because you got more that are infected and dead now with the virus, with the vax than last year before the vax was really available. So make that make sense. Tell me how that works. Anyway, but I'll move right along. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet, so I enjoy that you're here. If you like what you're hearing so far, give the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do that as well. That'll help me out a whole lot. And if you guys went to the show in Phoenix, or actually, what was that, Gilbert, Arizona, which is basically Phoenix. Thank you for being there. Had a great time in Phoenix with the book party for my man Brandon Tatum's book, Beating Black and Blue. Fantastic event. Great people. Met a lot of great guys. Of course, Brandon was there. Jericho Green was there. Oliver Mack, Craig Long. A lot of new guys I've never seen before were there. Of course, Brandon's wife was there, Corinne. A lot of great people were there. So shout out to everybody that I met. If I took a picture with you, hey, shout out to you. Thank you for being there. It was really a good event. I love Scottsdale. Scottsdale's fantastic. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back sometime soon. I'm talking about like next week. I want to go back because the weather was perfect. Perfect weather. 75 degrees, sunny, not a cloud in the sky. Perfect. I prefer Phoenix right now rather than like Miami Beach because Miami is humid. I'm cool. I'm from Virginia, so I'm used to that humid beach weather. To me, that's nothing. Going to the beach, I did that my whole life as a kid because I grew up right there on the beach. Not literally on the sand, like I'm a baby in a swaddle, like living on the sand. But I grew up right there where the beach is at, so that's nothing. But Scottsdale, Phoenix, I love it. I'm definitely going back. Now, I'm not going back to when it's 1,000 degrees in August. I'm cool on that. I'm cool on that 100%. But during the wintertime, fall, when it's like 85 degrees, between 85 and 70, and cool at night, it don't get no better. The roads are really cool out there. I love it a lot. That's my favorite city I've been to. Like, I like El Paso for the same reason. El Paso, probably Vegas too, but not really Vegas. But El Paso, Phoenix, I like a lot. Dallas is cool, but I like DC is cool if you're like a tourist and you don't have all the Antifa out there. But yeah, probably my favorite city that I've been to so far. And I've been to quite a few. Definitely Phoenix, top notch. I'll be back for sure. All right. So you guys are fantastic. Love you. We're going to get the super chats right quick and then we get to the calls. Yeah, the weather is fantastic. And my hotel, it had a rooftop bar. You got the mountain view. Oh, it was good. Really good. Florida's cool. I like Florida. I like Florida, but Miami was just so humid. It was so humid. Like, it was a shock. You get off the plane, go out there go out there outside the airport, you're wet already. And I had that type of heat already in Virginia in the summertime. So I'm kind of like, it ain't nothing really new. I like to go to new places where I've not really experienced a kind of climate. I've been in a cold climate. I've been in New York. I've been desert, humid. I like where I live right now in the mountains. I enjoy the mountainous terrain and the Appalachians. I enjoy the culture, people here, the accents and everything. I like it out here. But I'll be doing a lot more traveling for sure. All right. So, yeah, super chats on deck. Yeah, shout out to LA. lot of you guys came from LA, drove from Los Angeles. That was good. Thank you to Nick Carson for being a member, joining. Thank you for that. Thank you to Magnus Veer 80 for the gold emoji. Do I ever drink? No, I don't drink. I don't drink at all. You know, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't even take Tylenol. I'm high on life. Yeah, I don't do none of that. The most I do is eat like cookies and stuff like that, man. I'm a sugar fiend, and I gotta stop, man. You know, I need a 12-step program to get off of sugars and cookies and stuff like that. But anyway, they get to OG Hitter 420 who says, ABL, do you or anyone in the chat know how to go about getting religious exemption from the... Okay. Go to Modern Renaissance Man's YouTube channel. Modern Renaissance Man, if you're watching, get this man OG Hitter 420 your email. But go to him on his channel, leave a comment, try to find his email. Modern Renaissance Man, go to his channel right now. Also on Instagram, just hit him up and see what he could do for you. Okay, I don't know how to do that as far as the exemption, but Modern Renaissance Man, he got your back, 100%. All right, so thank you to Apu Bakar, All Puff Daddy, who says, ABL, how was the event? I told you about that just now. And he said, saw the photo of you, Tatum, Jericho, Craig, and Oliver Matt. Yeah. Matter of fact, hold on. If you guys have not seen it, I'll put it on the screen right quick. Hold on 1 second. Give me 1 minute. I'll show you that picture so you can see what we're talking about and we're on the same page. But yeah, this was a really good picture. Like everybody, it was so many cameras right there. It was like paparazzi. So of course you see everybody. You see Jericho Green right there on the far left. That's me. Oliver Matt, Tatum, of course, Craig Long, and I forget his name, but he was really cool. He was he's a police officer, real cool guy, but I forget his name. So pardon me. Y'all might know who he is. He spoke during the event. I didn't speak. I was just there just to support. But yeah, so this is a really good picture. We took that. It was like 20 phones in front of us taking the picture. So there's quite a few variations of the same picture because everybody took their own picture, basically. All right. So yeah, good picture. Definitely one for the book. So I'm keeping that in the frame for sure. All right. And let me go back to where I was right quick. And now I'm tall. We're all like me, Oliver, and Craig are like 6'2" and above. I think Craig is like 6'4". I'm 6'2". I think Oliver's 6'2" as well. And Tatum was like 6'1", 6 foot, something like that. Like we're all pretty tall. So if Jericho looks shorter, is that we're tall. That's, you know what I mean? That's what that is. He's not necessarily short, we're just tall. All right. Apu says BLM, capitalism doesn't love black people. Thoughts? Oh, I saw that. So BLM put something out that says capitalism doesn't love black people. Meanwhile, Patrice Cullors, the Black Lives Matter, one of the Black Lives Matter founders, has a real estate portfolio worth $3.2 million. She loves capitalism and works very well in it. You got all kind of LLCs and S corps and C corps and pass-throughs and tax write-offs. You love capitalism. You play the game better than I do. Matter of fact, can I get a course on how to engage in capitalism from you, Miss Patrice Cullors? Because I mean, good grief. Like, what are we doing? All right. So yeah, that was crazy. Let me get to some more here. Apu says, RIP Jacqueline Avant. When her lib's going to wake up. Yeah, that was really crazy. Jacqueline Avant, it was a home invasion and she was murdered. And how old was she anyway? Like in her 80s? And of course it was a black male that did it. Unfortunately. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. And his, pardon me, her husband is Clarence Avant. And I'm not quite sure. He's a music executive. He's 90 years old. So if he's 90, I mean, imagine how old she is, right? Yeah, really, really sad. May she rest in peace. But LA is very dangerous. Yeah, like it's been a whole lot of home invasions and stuff like that in really well-to-do areas. LA is crazy. But, you know, defund the police, right? Defund the police, ACAB, all this and that and the third. They probably should refund the police so people stop losing their lives. Not just rich, poor, everybody in between. But see, people don't really understand. Like, a lot of these so-called activists are not there for the aftermath of their actions. They successfully get the police defunded, but they don't see the 50% increase in homicide. They don't care about all these crying families. People that's 80 years old being murdered in their house. I mean, what's going on? It's crazy. Let me see. And also, Smouye trial, ABL, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. We'll see. So, Juicy Smouye, as we all know, is now being tried for the fake hate crime. You know what? I thought it was going to get off. I thought there would not be a trial because of everything that was going on, how corrupt Chicago is. But he's actually on trial for the fake hate crime. And I heard that there was a dry security run, not security, a dry run of the attack with the Africans, the Osendados. I cannot get over how this man tried to make it seem like there was racist white men that were attacking them, but you picked the blackest dudes you could find. You picked Africans, sir. Find a light-skinned black dude at least. You got Africans? That's like me talking about I'm white. How am I going to pull that off? Somebody want to tell me that? How am I going to sit? How am I going to say that I'm white? Is anybody going to believe that? The dumbest person, the world's dumbest criminals, he needs to get locked up for that alone, for being so dumb. Have that be a crime. What you in here for? Being stupid. Oh, all right. Say less. But anyway, thank you to, what's that? Lancelot for being a member 12 months. Who says, season greetings, ABL. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Thank you to Apple, who says CIA agents involved in child abuse. Was Q right? I don't know anything about Q. I don't know anything about that. But that's crazy how CIA operates. Now, is the video of the rehearsal available? I've not looked for it very deeply, but I did a surface look. I didn't find it. Is there video of the rehearsal available? Please tell me. Because I want to find it. I'm going to try to find it right now. Hold on, dry run. There we go. Please tell me it's available. Okay, now I don't see it. I'm just seeing reports about it. Hold on. I'm seeing something right here, but it ain't really nothing. It's like in the car. I don't really see nothing. So, nah, that ain't really nothing. But yeah, regardless of what's going on, I mean, these guys are dumb. Just purity silly. I'm gonna play the video, but it ain't really nothing. It's not much to really write home about at all. So, hold on. I'm gonna just screen it right quick and make sure it's straight. Yeah, but it ain't really nothing. I'll put it on the screen. So, the caption says, Jussie Smollett was caught on surveillance video doing a, quote, dry run one day before his staged hate crime attack. Jussie Smollett was trying to frame white conservative men and civil rights activists implicated Trump supporters for political gain. So, again, that's them. And it's not a whole lot to it, but I guess Juicy is in the front seat and the Africans are in the back. Now, what are they wearing? They're wearing like all white, like hazmat type suits. Are they going to be like handling select meats at the local Publix? So what's going on? I don't know what's happening.
$9
Oh no, okay, that might have been like a cab driver or something.
The light?
Yeah. Nah, that's him. I think. I don't know.
Stop here?
Yeah, thank you.
No. It's a cab driver. It's got to be.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, my friend. Take care of me, okay? Make sure everything okay? Thank you.
So I guess right there, the video was of them going to the spot to do the dry run, but not of the dry run itself. Okay, I see what's going on. Okay. I think the all white is because of the night cam. I don't really know. But yeah, send that man to the penitentiary just for being dumb. Africans, I mean, come on, man. You can find some white guys in Chicago to do that role. Africans, the dumbest. Anyway, I'll move right along. You found the exact opposite of white Trump supporters. I say, yo, bring me a dog. You bring me a whole alligator. It's like, this is not anywhere near what I asked for, sir. Let me see. Greg Brown says, quote, flying too close to the sun. Greek mythology reference to Icarus, who flew too close to the sun despite his father's warning. Accurate comparison. Thank you for that. Glad you caught that one. Thank you to Apple, who says, have FBI solved pipe bombs at DNC, RNC yet? Defund? No, they haven't. Jason Edwards says, 2 hours ago, I arrived back from a vacation in your state, and now I'm back in NYC rap. NY crap, NYC rap. I missed it already. Crazy need to take their meds or face a death penalty when they commit the horrible crimes they commit. Loonies. Exactly. Apple also says, God bless January 6th, MAGA and DC jail solitary before trial. Thank you for that. Thank you, Michael Guest, for your donation. Thank you to Slayer Mill, who says, what Supreme Court decision would you like to see overturned, excluding Roe v. Wade? That's a deep question. I'm not really sure right now because I need to look at some Supreme Court decisions, but definitely Roe v. Wade. I mean, that's number one on top of the list. I'm not really sure beyond that. That's a really good question, though. Thank you to Daniel Orr, who says, it's a 1 year anniversary. Oh, sub anniversary. Keep it up, ABL. Thank you for that. Thank you for being a 1 year sub anniversary, for being here for that long. I appreciate you. Thank you to Apple, who says, media gonna blame Trump for Michigan school shooting, but media ignores Waukesha massacre of 6 innocents, including 1 child. Also, media ignores murders of David, Yuri, and Samuel Collinson, college students. There you go. Facts. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, Baldwin, why are your tweets protected? What are you hiding exactly? You lied almost straight-faced. Apple says, I hope you, Tatum, Jericho go on tour, live events. Thank you. Thank you to Michael, who says, Baldwin, all you had to do was take 30 seconds out of your miserable life to have inspected, cleared that firearm before you pointed it at someone. Correct. 100%. Apple also says, favorite Western, Dances with Wolves, Tombstone, Wyatt Earp, Unforgiven, Django Unchained, Good, Bad, Ugly, actor Clint Eastwood or John Wayne. I'm not really sure. Like, a lot of the Westerns kind of become like same to me, like the old school Westerns. Django was okay, but I like the old school Westerns. I don't know what they are really, but I saw the most recent one on Netflix, The Harder They Fall. That was okay. It was all right. But it was weird because it kept playing reggae music. It's like, we're like in the old school West in the 1800s. Why are you playing Bob, like Junior Gong? Not even Bob. You're playing Damian Marley. What are we talking about? But anyway, thank you to Apple, who says, favorite Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer, or Dennis Quaid. Let me get Val Kilmer for 1992 Batman. Shout out to him. Michael says, Baldwin understand that there are thousands of ex-military intelligence, law enforcement, and correctional personnel that were trained to detect liars. There you go. Joe Ryder 84 says, ABL, are you a fan of Clay Travis? I like Clay Travis. I watch him sometimes if I'm watching like Fox, or I may catch a clip of him occasionally from his sports stuff. Yeah, he's cool. Apple says, please play Ouchie Fauci TikTok for @Doug Ripley. Just Cause says, guilty even if he has projectile. I ain't gonna read that one. Let's keep it PG-13. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, Baldwin, you pulled that trigger, didn't you? Thousands of us already knew that you would either blame the gun or someone else. Thank you to Makona Tom, who says, first rule of gun safety, don't point it at anything or anyone you do not intend to shoot. Facts. Thank you to Tanya's Dark Room for the clapping emojis. Appreciate you for that one, Tanya. Thank you to Sean Havlick, who says, yes, you can hammer, slam, fire a gun. Warren Sear. Michael says, Baldwin, but that's okay, right? It's your white Democrat privilege that will get you off the hook, correct? The Real Hydro PX says, Jim Cramer said that every American citizen should be vaccinated or they should be deported to another country or go to jail. Not happening. I'm not going nowhere. Nowhere. Let me see. Tyrannius says, LOL, Don Lamont's boyfriend got canned. Jason Edwards says, today I identified as a piece of cardboard. Unfortunately, it was the floor of a homeless guy's home and he didn't eat right. All right. Okay. Thank you to Marie Stark for your donation. Thank you to Michael Guess, who says, Salty Army Lincoln, Nebraska in the house, FJB. Makona Tonum says, it's an early internment camp. Next, unvaxxed people will be made into to sew stars on their clothes. Thank you to Tyrannius, who says, I better get my guns out of the lake, not going to any camp. Hey, man, I'm right there with you. I'm going on a dredging to get my guns from the bottom of the lake. Thank you to Buck versus Windshield, who says, by the science, natural immunity is 12 to 16 times better than the vax. If upwards of 150 million Americans have had the virus, why aren't we talking about shutting down vax people? It's all about public safety. Exactly. Yeah, just get to, I mean, this whole thing has just been a disaster, a complete disaster. Thank you to Cali Fortune, who says, thanks for doing everything you do, ABL. The Salty Army is with you. In case you haven't heard, we are Legion. Thank you for that. Thank you to Buck vs. Windshield, who says, sorry I had to work overtime today. Got here late. Not sure if you touched on Joe Rogan's meltdown over his horrible Christmas HBO show. Nah, I've not seen that. Thank you to Jedi 2 Billion, who says, I work for NYC Department of Education. Will mandate ever be gone? I don't know, man. It really depends on what y'all do in New York City. You know, you got a new mayor coming in. What's that, January? We'll see. Thank you to Farno Faye, who says, hey, ABL, see the Bone Thugs and 3-6 Mafia fight? I did see that. Busy Bone not taking his pills. Also, Christmas and New Year's coming up. New variant time. Next one's coming on Easter. Yeah, you already know it. They're getting released like Jordans, and that's facts. Thank you to London Strolling, who says, ABL, what do you think about the Arizona police shooting? Also, do you have thoughts about Hungarian politics? I don't know about Hungarian politics, and I've not seen the Arizona police shooting. I think I heard about a former Tucson officer getting into a shooting or he got arrested. I'm not sure what happened, though, so I don't really know. Thank you to Farno Faye, who says, BLM talking about shop black and bank black. Did Patrice buy her real estate black and in a black neighborhood? Absolutely not. 1,000% not. And I guarantee you her cash is not in no black bank. I guarantee it. You know, she probably got a whole stock portfolio with no cash. But that's a different story. And for now, I digress. Michael Guest says, Democrats, read this. Trump win. US. Michael also says, does anyone know if Tubin still, I ain't going to, come on, man. Again, let's not. Thank you to Bud, who says, according to the Black Christmas article on the BLM website, BLM wants people to boycott, quote, white businesses and, quote, white banks, and instead support black businesses and black banks. Okay. Buck versus Windshield says, how can people not see the KKK and BLM are nearly the same thing? Hate, racism, burning, and murder is all about controlling human beings. Thank you to Hank Schrader, who says, Hollywood is always innocent, ABL. They walk on water. A. Cano says, great vid as always at California. Great donation. Thank you for that. Thank you to Buck versus Windshield, who says, who shot Liberty? Violence is the best Western ever. Tyrannia says, Tombstone is my favorite Western. And Daryl Alexander says, the Crumleys crumble. All right. Time for the calls. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Keep calling. If the calls aren't working, it's not my fault. Blame the white man. But let's get into it. There's also an email if you want to get in through Skype. The link will be in the description box below, or the email's in the box below. You can add me on the email. All right, so let's go ahead and get rocking. Let's go to the first caller here. And give me 1 second just to make sure everything's copacetic. Let's go 443. You don't know who I'm speaking to.
Yes, my name is David.
All righty, what's happening?
Hey, I was just curious if you had seen what's going on in DC right now with there's some Patriot March or something going on there. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is no one's really talking about the military vaccine mandate that's going on right now. They're denying pretty much 100% of the exemptions.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I'm currently serving myself, and about 20,000 people in my branch specifically, all denied, and they don't really want to talk about it.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm not sure how they can do that or if it's widespread. Like, I don't really know what's going on with that, but that shouldn't be happening. Now, here's something else though. Wasn't the mandate paused by the federal judge?
Now, my understanding of that is that's for federal workers, like employees, not the DOD, because Floyd Austin gave us a direct order to go get it. So as far as I'm tracking, we're all supposed to have it by December 14th. Or they just came out with a policy that says that, you know, we'll all be flagged. We won't have personal actions. We can't go to college. We can't re-enlist. So is what they like doing is they do the disingenuous stuff like, hey, we can have trans in the military now because of Biden, but I'm 6 foot tall. If I say I'm a girl, one, I'd be one ugly girl. Two, I can't weigh 145 pounds. So then they'll kick me out for that. So that's why Trump put a stop to that, because it's not exactly fair. You're lying to the public. But, you know, Biden likes lying to the public.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's really crazy that that's going on. So now, would it be a dishonorable discharge if you guys don't get it, or it's just like some of the other little things you just can't do? Like you can't re-enlist and can't go to college.
It's dishonorable as of right now.
Oh, wow.
So there's all kinds of janky stuff going on in the military. They're labeling Christians that don't agree with BLM or LGBT as extremists. So that will cost you your security clearance, which means you have to get out. Floyd Austin really kind of seems to have a slant for getting conservatives out.
I see.
So that's what it appears to be right now. So there's a couple lawsuits going on. And the latest I saw is SCOTUS wants to see exactly how many people have put in for exemptions and how many people have been denied. But all these cases take place after when the mandate's supposed to hit, which is December 14th. So I don't see how it really helps people like myself or some of the SEALs who have the case in and stuff like that. So I don't really know. They're doing really shady stuff for us personnel in the military right now. They have the Afghanistan people they put all on our posts. No one's really talking about like a rape of a girl in Texas due to one of those people that we brought over here, you know, totally vetted and everything else. And he raped a service member. Then all the wall stuff that taxpayers paid for is just sitting in a place in Texas for people to just sit there and guard. But we're guarding it. That's taxpayer money. We're not building it. That was taxpayer money. So
that's crazy.
Since January 6th, there's definitely some wonky stuff going on in the military.
I see.
So I just want to get your take on it and see, because not a lot of people in the public, at least, are talking about it.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. You have a good night, man.
Same to you. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's 100% crazy what's going on. But we'll see what happens with this law and whatnot. Now, how is Lloyd Austin just going to say, okay, do this, get this vax, but then the federal judge says you can't? We'll see how it all goes down. Alrighty, 497 online, I'm going to speak it to.
Just Chip.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? What's going on?
Oh, glad to hear you. I was actually, when I seen the picture,
My fault. I hung up on him. I didn't mean to do that. That's my fault. Hey, blame the white man. 818, you're on the line. I'm speaker to.
Hi, ABL. Tyler out of California. How are you today?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Actually, I've watched your show quite a bit. This is actually my first time ever calling into any kind of a broadcasting program. Just wanted to touch a little bit on some of that firearms handling out of the Alec Baldwin situation.
Okay.
Just a little bit of a history. I've got about 11 years in law enforcement out of California. About 10 years on their tactical team and assisted firearms instructing. So just to kind of touch, one of your viewers did mention that you can actually discharge by just pulling the hammer back, even if it's not completely. But there are two different types of revolvers. You've got your single action and double action. So some of them, you can actually pull the hammer all the way back and put it into the lock position, which would reduce the amount of trigger pull that you would have. So you'd have a lighter trigger. Some of them don't actually have that function. So even though you do actually pull the hammer all the way back to the rear, by releasing it or letting go, it would actually send the hammer forward at full speed. So you have a couple of different variables.
I see. So, I mean, if somebody has a gun in their hand, should they pull the hammer back and release it and think it won't fire?
Well, much like one of your other commenters had mentioned, you've got your four basic firearms handling rules, your traditional four basic handling rules. The first one is never point your firearm at anything you do not intend on shooting or destroying. Then you've got your second one, which is getting a little tongue tied here. Your first one is treat every weapon as if it's loaded. That's basically the rule number one, which is clearly not something that they do. The second one is know your target, your backstop, and beyond. The third one is never put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Know your target, your backstop, and beyond would be the first one, or the fourth one. So at no time should he ever have been pointing the firearm at somebody without going through a proper safety handling. The proper sequence of handing the firearm off from one person to another would be a personal inspection as the person originating with the firearm to do an inspection to make sure that it is safe and clear. After that individual has done a safe and clear, they then present it to the person that they're going to relinquish it to, so that they can also do a visual and physical inspection to make sure that it is safe and clear. Once you've both confirmed, then you can transition the firearm over to the other person and then go through whatever training drills you have thereafter.
I see. Makes sense.
Yeah. So just a little bit of that. Unfortunately, in a situation like this, like you said, it is just gross negligence when it comes to however it was that firearm was handled and neglected to make safe.
Right on, man.
All right. I appreciate taking the time.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure that Alec Baldwin did himself any favors by going on ABC and talking about what he did. He might have actually ruined himself. Okay. Call you on the line, speaker 2479.
Anthony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Chip calling from Galveston, Texas. I'm first of all just super proud of you, and thank you for everything that you do. I was wondering if you had thought about organizing with Brandon Tato and Jericho Green and new Black conservative movement. Have you guys thought about actually coming together and doing something in the Black communities and trying to get your word out there more so than what you guys are doing now on the solo mission?
Well, I mean, people ask us to do stuff like that, but it's like, one thing that Brandon already has is Blexit, and that does a lot of that type of stuff. A lot of people go volunteer and they do things. Now, as far as us speaking, like in the so-called hood, we don't have to do that. I think the best thing would be for people that want to come see us, like if we were to go on a tour or something like that, it doesn't have to be like in the hood. Like personally, I wouldn't want to do that. Like a prime example, being from Virginia, I wouldn't go right to Norfolk and just set up an event right in the middle of the ghetto. I would set it in a place where it's close to anybody who wants to come out and see us. And then also just having our content online so it could be found by anybody, anywhere, anytime. And don't have to necessarily be in a place where it may be unsafe. So I think the main thing would be if you were to go on tour, we could just go to certain cities where you have underprivileged areas and also privileged areas. Bring everybody together and have a conversation. That'll probably be the best way to go about it.
That would be amazing. I just know that I come from a Black and Hispanic environment, and a lot of people don't really know about you guys. And then when I show them your videos, they're like, you can see that they're kind of thinking. Of course, I grew up like kind of in a liberal Democrat environment as well too. So I'm kind of red-pilled about 5 years ago. So, or actually about 3 years ago. But I just thought if you guys were together, you guys could actually stir up something and make something huge, you know?
Oh, definitely, for sure.
All right, hey, I appreciate everything you do, brother.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, I get people to ask me stuff like, you know, well, he had a good question, but sometimes I get challenged. It's like, hey, come to the hood. It's like, why? Nobody wants to go to the hood. It's dangerous. Somebody can say I'm scared. I'm not scared of anything. I'm just smart. I'm not an idiot, you know, because I've seen a lot of things in my life. I'm not scared, but I'm not gonna, you know, it's just like, okay, why would I drive my car at 200 miles an hour down the street where it's a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit? Why would I do that? It makes no sense. I'm gonna do things that are logical, that are gonna ensure my safety. You know. Let's get to the next call. All righty, let's go to. All right, anonymous caller. Who am I speaking to?
Well, I'm not gonna, you know.
Anonymous caller. Hello.
Okay.
Yes, hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Yeah, my name is Rick.
All righty, what's going on?
The last caller had a great point. I noticed that a lot of black people that say that they voted for Trump won't go in the black areas. And you rely on white people to give you money, like Candace Owens.
Okay, so are you white?
Also, do you have autism?
Wait. No, sir. If you're going to do it, let's do it. Are you white?
Do you have autism?
Sir. If you're going to do it, let's do it. Let's not just come on here and just lob accusations. If
are
you're going to do it, sir. Are you want to do it? Do you want to do it or not? Do you want to do it or not? All right. See, that didn't really work too well. He thought he was just going to say that, and I was going to just be like, oh, nah, man, let's do it. If you want to do it, let's do it. So it's dumb, though, because it's like, you don't want to go there. I can hear your voice. You're not from there, and you don't want to go there. If you want to go, come on. I'll take you. Matter of fact, I'll tell you where to go. You just put it in your GPS, go down there and park, and wait. And when the bullet hits your windshield and you catch one, hey, man, I try to tell you that it's dangerous, but if you want to go to a dangerous place, then go for it. I don't want to go there. I'm from the hood. Why I want to go back? Everybody that is from the hood does not want to be there. And you don't have to be in a dangerous area to reach the black community. Black folks always leave the hood when they want to go get a pair of Jordans, when they want to go to an event, when they want to go travel. We leave the hood, even if we live there, so they can leave the hood to come see us. If you want to go there and have an event that might be kind of adversarial, you do that. No bulletproof vest, no Kevlar helmet, no weapons, just you by yourself and the megaphone. Try it and see how it goes. All righty, let's go. Hold on one second here. 708, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Olivia.
Hello. Hold on. I got some.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hi, my name's Ann. Good to talk to you. So,
hold on. Wait a minute. Wait. Are you on speaker?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Hang on.
Okay.
Is everything okay? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. So, just a few things. I had been banned for Twitter for months, and then I finally was able to sign up using one of my kids' things because I couldn't get on no matter how I tried. They kept telling me my account was suspended. But I realized Twitter is a universe unto itself. It is a clearly demarcated place of left and right. You either think one way or you think another way. And those two sides are so diametrically opposed to each other. I don't know what's going on in this country. I saw the thing about the BLM mandate, about pretty much mandating black people to only shop at black-owned businesses. Well, how would you know that? How is one supposed to know who owns business? Do you go in and ask, or what do they expect people to do?
You probably got to go in and ask, but I mean, you could get lied to, so I'm not sure how you're really going to know.
I don't understand why that is not considered hate speech or racism in this country. Why that is allowed. If a white person said anything like that, white people only shop white businesses, only bank white banks, which I don't know what's a white bank. I just bank down my street. I go to the bank. I don't know who owns it. I don't care who owns it. I just want to make sure it's FDIC insured. That's all. So I don't understand how we're ever going to come to any resolution in this country. It just seems like things are so bad now, especially the holidays are coming up. People don't have money, and mental health issues everywhere. That those poor kids, especially, the boy who tried to save everybody over there in Michigan with that school shooting, which is a total cluster mug. But I appreciate you. I haven't watched your show in a while. Trying to catch back up with you, but I think you're awesome, and keep doing what you do, brother.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to the next one here. 469 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Michael in Italy, Texas.
All righty, what's going on?
Hang on, let me pause myself, man. I just want to, and I can tell I'm talking to you. I don't even need to go online with you. I just want to let you know I'm so happy to have found you a couple of years ago. Appreciate everything you do. And when are you moving to DFW down here around Dallas, Fort Worth?
I was just out.
Love to have. We want you here. We have super low taxes, no state income tax. I know y'all just got done with the governor's race. Y'all did good with that, but any day of the week you want to, and you drag the family down here, y'all come on.
Right on, man. I appreciate
that. That's all I got to say. And ABL, tell you what, brother, love you to death.
Well, thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, stay strong, man. Keep going with what you're doing, man. You're the best.
All righty. Thank you.
Take care, brother.
All right. Shout out to the call. Yeah. Dallas was cool when I was out there. I like Dallas. You know what I mean? Give me the safe area, though. I don't want to go to where all the shootings and whatnot be happening. But, yeah, where I was at when I was there last year was really nice. So, shout out to Dallas. It was cold there when I was there. It was really random. I've been to Texas before. I've been to Houston. I've been to El Paso, and it was pretty warm when I went. But it was in the summertime. I went to Dallas in the wintertime last time. So, I guess I caught out on the bad time. But I still liked it. It was really nice out there. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to... hold on. 865 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, yeah, you're talking to Lord back in the hills again.
All righty, what's going on?
Well, I'm going to talk about a few things here tonight. The first thing was about Cuomo getting the boot from CNN. I thought, oh my goodness, they finally got rid of that blowhard. But you were right. That the Almighty have fallen. The left they really do eat themselves.
Right on.
And then Kamala and her advisors, her visitors, they're jumping ship like rats. They say that rats will leave a sinking ship. Well, they're definitely on their way out.
Absolutely.
But anyway, living here in East Tennessee, I was out the other night and moseying around, go here, there, and the other place, and I noticed that all the restaurants were full. All the grocery stores were full. Gas stations were full. People were coming and going and doing. They was wearing a mask. Well, every now and then you'd see one of those Democrat people wearing a mask, but people were ignoring the virus. I mean, they were just flat out ignoring the virus. They weren't listening to Fauci. Nobody, I don't apparently hear nobody cares what to say.
Yeah, because I think people know that Fauci is just talking. He really has no, he just says whatever, and we know that it's not really real.
Yeah, well, I decided I'm not going to live like a rat in a hole, for the rest of my life. So I pretty much, I'm out just saying, well, I'm going to do what I need to do.
That's
and,
right.
That's the way it's going to be. But, while I was out there at one of the stores, I saw a lady that she looked like she might have been from Afghanistan, and she was doing some shopping. And, I was just thinking, the way that brought her people over here, and we don't know whether if they're terrorists or if they're just family people. How did they get here? Who are they? I had to look at it, and I thought, friend or foe, because nobody knows for sure who they are. So I'm not holding it against her. That yes, I think you're a terrorist, but just the way Biden did it, in such an unprofessional manner that when you see the people that are coming into the country, can I trust them or not?
I got you. I hear you.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but he's put that seed of doubt in our minds, and oh well, what can I say? But anyway, let's see what else I got here to talk about. Let's see, and another thing I was thinking, you've heard of the saying "crazy like a fox"?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what they did is when they put Kamala in as the vice president, what they were thinking was she's so unlikable and so nasty that they figured by putting her in as the vice president that we would try to get rid of Biden because she'd be there to take his place.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna work. I think they don't like her in DC either, so that's gonna be an issue.
Well, they were saying something about her and Buttigieg running, for the next 2024. I'm like, just please run them, please run them for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's going to be a disaster for them for sure.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks for taking my call tonight. Have a nice evening.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
All right. Talk to you next time.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. Let's get to the next one here. Let's go to. All right. Hold on one second. Let's go. 910, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, how are you?
I'm great. About yourself?
I'm doing really good. Hey, listen, Fauci hasn't been fired or messed with or anything because he's making everybody so much money. He made this virus, then he got the pharmaceutical company all involved, and, the pharmaceutical companies fund the politicians. So the politicians are going to do what the pharmaceutical company wants.
That's right. Exactly. That's all it is because, everybody's getting paid. Everybody's getting paid on the back end and on the front end.
That's exactly right. And so they're not going to mess with Fauci. We have got to take back the House. We got to take back the Senate. We got to do something. And, I was thinking if Trump could possibly run and get to be the Speaker of the House, and then get Biden and Kamala impeached. Start in line, right?
That'd be nice, but I doubt that'll ever happen. But if it could happen, that'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be great? I mean, that's what we need to push for. I think DeSantis should run for president. I think Trump should be Speaker of the House because that could be faster. That could really happen faster.
It's possible.
But they're never going to do anything to Fauci. He's going to run scot-free because he's making everybody so much money. That's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, ABL. Have a good one.
Same to you now.
Bye.
Yeah, that money is powerful, though. That money is very, very powerful, and people don't want to let it go. They do not want to let that money train go. Not at all. Let's go to some more here. And thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you guys enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. 304, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
This is Cameron. How's it going, ABL?
It's all righty, man. What's going on?
Not too much, man. I just gotta say how I respect constitutional carry here in my state. I don't know if you got it in your state or not, but I just went out and bought me a Ruger 9mm today, and by gosh, I'm going to carry it everywhere I go. Because you watch the news every night, it's always someone getting beat, stabbed, shot, especially in Chicago. But yeah, I'm going to carry it everywhere I go.
That's right. I mean, if you got the right, I say use your right for sure. Protect yourself, protect everybody around you.
Yeah, I read up on the law. I've educated myself on the law. You know what I mean? I can carry it without permit or nothing in this state, and I'm thankful to God I can. And if they take it away from me, I'll be one mad lad, you know.
That's right.
But yeah, I just wanted to call and talk to you about constitutional carry. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You had a good show tonight, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Holler at you later.
All righty now. You know what? That's a good call though, because I'm gonna tell you something. We have that in Tennessee now. You could carry whatever you want and it's fine, no license. Now concealed carry is something different. You can open carry whatever you want. Concealed carry, you still gotta get a permit for that, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know about Tennessee. But here's the problem though. A lot of black folks don't like it. I saw Project Pat from 3 6 Mafia, the rapper. He was talking about how that's going to be bad for Memphis because there's so much violence out there. Now you can carry your gun openly with no license or nothing. They said it's going to be more of that. I heard that there when I was watching Vlad TV or something like that, and he was saying he didn't like that. Now it wasn't Vlad TV; it was something else. He was saying he did not like the new rule because it'll be more crime and violence among black folks. Then I was leaving when I was going back to my car in Atlanta when I flew back from Phoenix. It was some black girls on there from Philly, and they were saying how there was some concealed carry or some open carry thing passed out there, and they didn't like it because there was so much shooting and killing. So, I mean, we got to get people to understand like what they're talking about. The criminals are going to have the criminals are going to have guns regardless. They're going to have guns. It don't matter. Concealed carry, open carry, permit, no permit, it don't matter. They're going to have guns. You don't have the right to a gun if you're a regular normie walking around. People got to get educated about guns. That's part of the problem. People don't understand the world around them. If you understood the world around you, if you understood guns, then you would welcome this. People are so afraid that they don't even understand how to really fight back. They just say, okay, put laws on people. That's not working. Obviously, the laws ain't working in Chicago, Philly, places like that, Memphis. It ain't working. So you need to get armed, period, and get trained so you can defend yourself again. Because the thing about it is, if everybody has guns and everybody's trained, you're going to be less likely to be a victim of a gun, a robbery or something like that, home invasion or whatever the case may be. Right? Let me get some more here. Let's go to 914 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, what's up? This is Anthony calling from Queens, New York.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Not much. I'm driving right now. Just got done having a little party with me and my wife and my little kids, and we just got back. But I'm on the road right now. Just hitting you up. So I got back to the crib. I dropped off my wife, and I saw that. I just found out a little while ago that Chris Cuomo got fired.
Yeah.
And so my wife was in the bathroom, and I was waiting for her in the living room, and I just saw a video about it, right? And I just started bursting out laughing mad loud, like, and she's like, "You come out, what you laughing at?" And I was like, "I don't think you'll find it really funny, but to me it's funny that my man got fired." Like, I don't know. I mean, who fell off a steeper cliff than the Cuomo brothers, right?
Yeah.
They're like
right.
right? They look like some dodo birds falling off a cliff. But you know what I find funny, ABL? I find funny that, like, I don't even know if it's funny is the right word, honestly. But what I find crazy in this upside down world is that, you know, my man got fired over the thing with his brother, you know, with the sexual allegation thing. But instead of talking about the real topic about how his brother, you know, murdered 15,000 people.
All right.
You know?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying, ABL? Like, we're worried about, I understand it's messed up what he did. I get it. Don't get me wrong. But, like, I mean, like, my man murdered 15,000 people. And, like, there's people out there, like, that believe that didn't happen. Like, none of that's real and all that. And, like, I can tell you firsthand that it's real, like, living in New York. Like, I remember I would drive past the boat that Donald Trump sent. And that boat was empty. Like, legit empty during the peak of COVID, you know, during the beginning of it. And that boat was empty. He never put any of the people in there, Cuomo at the time. And the people out there saying that it didn't really happen is, I don't know, either A, they're lying, or B, they just don't want to admit that they're wrong because they're on a specific side, which is crazy that you're denying reality, you know? I don't know, that's just my thoughts on it. I find it crazy we live in a world where people's more worried about that than the people that he murdered. You know, it's crazy the world that we're living in. And that's all I really wanted to say. I wanted to also tell you one more thing, actually. A while ago, I called up a while ago. It may have been about a month, and I actually spit some bars for you over the phone. And I remember you told me to record it. So I said, all right, you know. So I actually recorded the track. And if you wanted, you could check it out on my channel called Whatever and Everything, you know. You could check out the track that I made. I believe it's called 2 + 2 = 5. The world is downside up. But I spit these bars for you already. And, you know, I want you to check it out, man. And I want you to keep doing your thing and keep saying the truth. And that's all I really got to say, ABL. And I love what you do, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Absolutely, ABL.
Yeah, I forgot about that. The whole the hospital boat thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. It wasn't getting used, and that whole situation was really crazy in New York. What Andrew Cuomo did, really crazy. All right, let's go. All right, 617, you're online. I'm speaking to 617.
Yeah, 617 here. How you doing? Anthony? How are you?
It's all good. What's going on?
I want to touch bases in the situation with Carl Rittenhouse.
What about him?
You guys didn't cover it pretty well. I mean, I don't know. You watched the video from the New York Times that people, you know, they did a collection of video of the situation, what happened, and this notion that people went after him as some sort of mob is just not true.
Okay, so wait. So was he chased?
Yeah, he was chased.
Okay, so what are you trying to actually counteract? He was chased by people. So what's next? What happened?
Okay, first of all, you got to understand that the first guy that he shot, that he killed, this guy just got out from the mental hospital. He's a mental patient with all kind of mental problems. That's what the guy was aggravated towards.
And
the
what's your
guys
point?
with the guns. Well, my point is that you have somebody that have a mental issue. You have somebody that is running around with a gun, with a rifle. That might bring his attention. That's what brought his attention.
Oh, so it's Cal's fault for legally carrying. No, sir. I'm gonna just talk and you can respond. So is it Cal's fault that he was just carrying the gun, which was legally, I think he could do in that particular part of the country?
No, I never said that was his fault.
Okay, so if he gets attacked, look, the next question is, it's not Cal's fault that he was legally carrying a rifle. So if he's attacked by a person on the street, then what should he do?
Well, you got to understand the reason that he was attacked because he had the gun. That's my point.
So I mean, you just wait, sir. Listen, You just said it wasn't his fault. So we're not going to be able to mention that. The argument is done. It wasn't his fault that he had the gun because it was legal. So it's not his fault. Now, if you're attacked on the street, then what do?
You respond.
So he responded. Next.
That's what I did.
He responded. He responded, and next.
And then when he responded, you got to remember now, somebody shot first. They don't know. Somebody from the car shot first. The guy was chasing him through a bag of his clothes, a plastic bag. He continued chasing him. Carl turned around and fired 4 shots. Somebody fired 2 shots from the parking lot. 2 other shots. They don't know who it is. They were not in court. So the guy that was the medic, the paramedic, the guy that he shot last, that he missed off the shoulder. He said, "Why do you shot him?" He asking him, "Why do you shot him?" And Carl picked up the phone and called his friend and decided to run. So they didn't know why he shot him in the first place.
Why did Cal run? Is it because
Cal ran because
sir? I'm gonna just get the question. Is it because he saw people starting to surround him and it could be dangerous, so he decided? Sir. Say, look, sir, quiet until I finish the question.
Okay.
Is it because he began to be surrounded by people and he thought it was unsafe, as he said in court, which is what you saw on the videotape? Were the people not beginning to go toward his direction? Yes or no? It's just yes and no question.
That's just not true.
It's a yes and no question. Sir, quiet. Sir, hello. Yes or no question.
No, not true.
So
not true. That's not.
I saw the videotape, and when he was there after he shot the first person, the child molester, we were talking about, the guy that got out of the mental hospital, the child molester. When he shot him after he attacked him, people began to come in his direction. He was trying to render the guy aid after he shot him, but he couldn't. Sir, quiet. I'm gonna put you on mute. He was trying to render him aid, and then he couldn't do that because the crowd began to come around him. So that's when he left, and then he started to run when he realized that he could be in some danger. And as he was being chased by these people, he fell on the ground because he got hit by the skateboard or a rock or something like that. And then they began to attack him, and then he defended himself, which is what the jury decided, which is what the jury decided, which is what was shown on videotape and 4K definition. It was right there. The prosecution had nothing. The defense had everything. That's why Cal Rittenhouse beat that case. So, do you think the jury? So do you think the jury was incorrect in their decision? So quiet. The question is, I could talk as long as I want to. I could just hang up on you. The question is, do you think the jury got it right?
Yeah, they got it right, but that's
so. If they got it right, then what are you talking about? If the videotape says that he was being chased, if the videotape says that he was attacked first, if the videotape says that he was being chased, if you say that the jury got it right, then what's your argument?
My argument is it's just not true. The whole thing was
no. If there's nothing to actually fight against as far as the outcome, then what's your point?
My point is there was a confusion. No mob started following him. The reason that people were wondering is because he shot him and people did not know.
But look, check it out. But check it out though. Does it matter?
It does matter.
Why?
You in a crowd of people.
Why does it matter? Why does it, sir, quiet? Why does it matter if the outcome, sir, quiet? Why does it matter if the outcome won't change? If the outcome is going to remain the same,
the outcome not change. But
it don't matter.
Like these people, like the guys that chasing, the other 2 guys that chasing were some sort of mob. It's just not true. Those people were not vandalizing.
Call it whatever you want to. Call them a mob. Call them peaceful protesters. Call them whatever you want. It don't matter what you call them. You could call them just regular people just waltzing around. But the fact is that the people that were behind him, mobbing them, chasing them, following the people that were there. Hey, but check it out. If they acted normally, then so did Cal Rittenhouse. They thought he was a threat, and then he thought, no, you can't. Quiet. If they acted normally and they thought he was a threat, then so did he. He thought they were a threat. They tried to attack him. They lost. He won. The end. Have a nice day, sir. All right, let's get to the next call. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Call them whatever you want. Call them attackers. Call them vandalizers. Call them urban flower painters. I don't care what you call them. Call them Martians. Who cares? But the fact is that they attacked Kyle Rittenhouse. That's why they got shot. That's why they dead. And that's why Cal's not. Period. All right, calling on line speaker 2317.
Well, I just wanted to go over a couple of things. First of all, everyone's going nuts about this Alec Baldwin thing, and they're acting like he purposely killed someone just because he's on the left. I don't like the guy, but you got to give everyone a fair trial. If he was going to murder someone, I don't think he would have done it in front of like 5 witnesses and on camera where it'd only have one shot. And I know people have had negligent discharges before, but even those people, that's not the same thing as when you're acting, you're on a set, you're in a movie where you're supposed to point guns at each character. When they make movies, they don't say, well, let me point it aside this guy. That way it doesn't look like we're pointing at him. That way they know we're safe when we're acting. The idea of a movie is to act and it looks real. So I don't think this guy did anything wrong. And after watching the interview video, which a lot of people want to make up their minds without even getting the facts or watching the videos, but that's a problem right there. After watching the interview, I think that what he said was true, and this is the same thing when I saw it that day. Whoever put that bullet in there, that's the murderer. That's the person that needs to go to jail.
But agree? But wait a minute. But see, let's back up a little bit though, because remember a few things. This is Alec Baldwin's movie. And people had been raising the alarm for a while because there had already been misfirings on set before this. This ain't the first time. It wasn't just like, oh, well, there was one accident. No, there were other misfirings on set. And luckily, nobody was hurt. But there had been other misfirings. First of all, the first crew, they were protesting against the conditions and they left. And then they got replaced. You don't think Alec Baldwin was involved with that? Probably was, to replace the old crew with the new crew. A lot of people that probably were not as experienced as the crew that was there before when they had the misfirings. And then the crew were going out there plinking with live ammo. So you have misfirings, plinking with live ammo. The crew's protesting. They're not being treated properly. You replace them with lesser experienced people. And then it all culminates in this tragedy. You see, there were a bunch of things that he could have done before to prevent this. Now, I'm not saying it was his fault necessarily for that live round being in there at that moment. However, there are things he could have done before this to prevent this whole thing from happening. He's talking about he doesn't know how the live rounds got on set. How does he not know that the plinking is going on? How does he not know about the other accidental discharges? At best, he's just negligent, not knowing what's happening with his own movie. It's like this. If my house has a bunch of problems with it and people keep telling me, my neighbors keep saying, hey, man, your house is messing up. I'm seeing I've seen arcing, the power's arcing behind your house, and then it burns down, and then somebody else's house gets burned down. It's like, well, we kept telling you something was going on. We kept telling you there was a problem, and you neglected it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't hear about people complaining that there were other misfires. I heard that there was like a non-union worker there, and that she talked about that on the 911 call. She said that, and that I was arguing with, and I think that was the guy that probably put the bullet in there. I do agree with you that there shouldn't have been live rounds in a place where they were practicing with blanks and thought they would only have blanks, because that type of confusion could lead to an accident like this.
Exactly.
But I don't think that the rule of never pointing a gun at someone, always keeping your finger off the trigger, things that apply to real guns in real situations in real life should apply to movies where you have to break all those rules because you're simulating something that's an action film where people are shooting each other. So I don't, people are comparing this to real life. Now, let's just say if he grabbed one of his real guns and pointed it at like his friends at the shooting range, like I've seen some idiots do on YouTube, then I'd say, yeah, if he killed someone doing something stupid, well, that's a different story. but no one wants to give the guy a fair shot. And I don't think that it should be like a trial by public opinion, or, you know, everyone should make up their mind before, what's it called, going nuts and wanting to bury the guy without a trial. That's just my 2 cents about the matter. As far as that guy that always calls up, that Hispanic dude that's always trying to troll you, he's like basically a time waster, that he's always want to disregard the facts and act like he's right anyway. It's like a drunk person. You just hang up on him. And as far as this Decepticon variant, there's going to be coming out with as many more variants as people want to believe and pay for, whether it's with their money or their liberty or both. But I'm not calling it the Omicron variant. It's the Decepticon variant. This whole thing is just deceiving. And as far as that guy, he was talking about how he shouldn't have been there. That caused him to the mentally ill guy to go after him. That guy had been convicted of raping 5 children, a total of 11 times. This guy was let out in about a decade, sent directly there, and there just happened to be an FBI drone footage above there watching this whole thing that happened. And that to me sounds really suspicious, especially when they didn't want to release that drone video to the trial except for 3 weeks before the trial happened. And then they said, oh, it's not ours. Oh, well, it is ours. Well, it came from someone else. And then we're not sure. And all this evidence is coming out. And then you got Binger, that evil genius, wearing a BLM pin on his suit and lying constantly and trying to twist Kyle's words, and then using the CGI to create manipulated images, which the defense witnesses caught him doing, and the judge, for some reason, still didn't throw out the case. So I think he wasn't even given a fair trial, and he still beat it. Thank God.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Watch out for the Decepticon variant. It's like the boogeyman. See you later. Let's go, Brandon.
There you go. All righty. The call lines are jumping. So I'm going to try to get everybody on. Y'all just hang tight, please. Let's go. 904, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing, Anthony? Man, I'm glad I made it. My name's Nikki. I just have 2 questions for you, and one of them's for the fans. You recently talked about a story where you don't own any guns anymore, and it was because of a big boating accident. I was really curious to hear more about that because it sounded pretty crazy. And then my second question is, how many seconds do you count before you say peace at the end of your videos? I'm always trying to guess that.
Well,
but that's it, man. That's all I have for you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Now, as far as the boating accident, it's just a running joke that we have. You know, that's all. I can't confirm or deny if I ever had any guns or if I ever. I'm just saying, if anybody asks me, do I have any guns? I'll be like, look, man, tragic boating accident. It was kids crying, people screaming. It was, you know, the violins playing and whatnot as the boat went down. It was flames shooting from every orifice. It was crazy, man. The river was on fire. It was a whole big mess, man. But yeah, I survived. You know what I mean? I took my life. Well, they didn't take my life. I kept my life. Let's be clear. Let's be specific. But I kept my life. I didn't die. I didn't get injured. But them guns are gone, man. So I don't have any guns anymore. And as far as the seconds I count, I just kind of do a pause. I'm not really sure how many seconds it is. I'm just like a rhythm type person. I just, you know what I mean, get in the rhythm and just do it that way. So I don't even know. I just kind of, it's like an internal clock in my mind. You know, whatever kind of time I have internally, that's how long I pause at the end. But that was a good call. Good questions. Let's go to some more here. 480, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hello?
Hello?
ABL?
This is me.
Hey, how you doing tonight? I was calling to speak to you, me and my friend.
Okay, before we start, turn the stream off in the background for me.
It's off.
All righty. What's going on, y'all?
Hi, Anthony. This is Debbie from Arizona with a California number. I was calling for another reason, but I have to make a comment on that dude before. that was talking about Kyle. It seemed like at first he was trying to say that Kyle should have had a medical degree or something. He should have knew he was mental. It's like, you don't know people are mental. But anyway, that's beside the point. I wanted to know if you heard anything about the Marjorie Greene statement today.
No, I didn't.
Oh my God, Anthony, she got online on YouTube and she put up all these different types of death threats that she's getting. And I just think the Patriots need to stand behind her because you could see that she was holding back the tears and everything. And she played those messages and they were awful. They actually sounded like demons. That's how bad it was. Now, I don't know if it was Democrats or if it was, people from China or whoever, but I mean, she's saying she's not afraid, but I mean, she's a little tiny thing and she is trying to help, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. And people are just crazy because of what the media does. They keep putting out negative stuff. So it's just really a big mess.
I know, but you got to listen to that because it's awful. It's just really awful. It's two women that are cussing her, telling her she should be dead. She should be dead. And that Trump should be the first one killed. They should be put in a firing squad. And then after they're shot in the head and bleeding, then push them down the Capitol stairs so their neck breaks. I mean, it got so in detail that this one dude even gave his phone number, or it was a fake number. But yeah, try to watch that because that could be a show in itself because it's happening to a lot of the real Republicans, not the rhinos and not the Democrats. They say that, but I have never seen AOC or any of her gang play any threats. But Marjorie Taylor Greene got on YouTube today, and she sat behind a desk, and she was letting us hear it and saying this can't go on because I guess it's happening to all the Republicans, the good Republicans, that is.
Yeah, of course.
But that's basically all I wanted to say is, it was just really sad. I felt bad for her. So check it out if you can, and have a great evening, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
People are crazy with all these threats. That doesn't get mentioned too much in the mainstream media for some reason. I wonder why. Y'all let me know why that is not mentioned too much in the media. I can only imagine. Let's get to a few more here. 256 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 256, hello. All righty, going once, going twice. Sorry, hey, for all the new callers, please be ready by the phone because you cannot sync to the stream. It's going to be off. It's going to be a delay. So please have your ear to the phone when I answer. That'd be great. Let's go to the next one. All right. Hold on. There's so many calls. Y'all give me a second. All righty. Call on the line, speaker 2517.
Hey, how you doing, ABL?
All right. Turn some off in the background for me, please.
I just did.
All righty.
This is Tony from Jackson, Michigan.
All righty.
I've called you a couple times.
Okay.
I got a question.
Okay.
I'm a case, I guess you call it, with this kid, in Detroit that shot these kids.
I can't really hear you. Say it one more time for me.
I see this kid that was in Detroit.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you well.
Okay, cool. This kid in Detroit, how come the police were never contacted?
Now, what do you mean? As far as before the whole thing happened, at what point do you mean?
Well, they called the parents in.
Well, see, but I don't know.
My daughter was attacked in school, and the police was there before I was there.
Yeah, but see, the parents were called because it was just it was for the whole drawing thing, but it wasn't necessarily a threat or any kind of disciplinary action. You see what I'm saying? So they couldn't really call the police for that, I don't think.
Well, they got a zero tolerance for any kind of violence. Even remember that little girl that drew a picture, I think it was in 5th grade? And just a picture, they called the police on her and wanted her arrested.
But see, it's like it's kind of a fine line because sometimes they call the police unnecessarily or they suspend unnecessarily. I think it was one boy. I remember it was a few years ago. This boy had a Pop-Tart and he bit it into a gun shape and he got suspended for that. So it's a fine line. I'm not really sure at what point do you call the police? Do you suspend? What do you do?
Well, up here in Michigan, I don't know about that school, but our school's got this thing called a promise program. It was all set up by Obama. If they don't report any crimes, they have zero crime at their school. They get $50,000.
Okay.
And I mean, I've seen a lot of crime at our school, and they don't report any of it. The cop is actually at the school, and he don't report it.
Right.
But I was just wondering, now they're talking about, arresting this boy's parents. They put him in jail. I mean, are they going to arrest that Texas boy's parents?
Good question, because where'd that gun come from? Why didn't it take it from him?
Yeah.
He was on the internet. He was on like Instagram and stuff, showing it off. So where were the parents at for that? That's a good question.
Right. And even Alec Baldwin, they going to go after his parents? I mean, they'll do a Roger Stone raid on their house.
Right.
They're probably in their 90s. I just wondered about if he didn't have a gun, he could have brought Molotov cocktails to school. He could have brought anything. It wasn't necessarily, I mean, people get all worked up about it being a gun. But me and my wife, we went to a buddy of mine's house just the other day to prove a point. We took 3 guns. My buddy's got a whole bunch of guns. We took 3 of them, made sure they were empty, no ammo in them, pulled the tumbler out of them to make sure there's no bullet residue even in them, put the tumblers back in them, cocked them, threw them around the room. You can't make it go off. It will not go home. The trigger will not go home. I mean, the hammer won't go home without pulling the trigger. And I mean, we're literally throwing it on the floor, and it won't go off.
Right.
But his gun just happened to go off all by itself.
Yeah.
Did you hear they're gonna drop the Holocaust from school agendas?
No way, really?
Yeah, they don't want nobody to study it no more.
Is that nationwide, or is it just like in one place?
I don't know. I just happened to see it on the internet where 2 schools. I think one of them was in. I don't remember what it was, but they had 2 schools listed. I think one of them was in Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. That's why it caught my eye.
Oh, okay.
But they're saying is if they don't teach it, they can't preach it.
Right.
So they're just not going to teach anything about the Holocaust. They don't want nobody knowing about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We was watching. Did you see the Annie version on TV the other night?
Did I see what now?
The Annie, the new version of Annie.
No.
Well, we was watching Salty Cracker at the time, and he had better numbers than they did.
That's funny.
I got a question, man. Did you see what's his name? Jericho stuck in the airport, couldn't get home.
No, I didn't see that. What happened?
His plane got canceled twice, I guess.
Wow.
He spent the night at the airport. I mean, he spent the night at a hotel. And, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, isn't his office in the front seat of a car?
Nah, I'm not really sure about that. He's just recording videos there. But thank you for the call, man. I got a few more on the line.
You know what I mean, though? Why is he taking a plane? I mean, it's only from Arizona to California.
But that's far though, because he lives in a different part of California. He doesn't live like that close. So, but thank you for the call, man. I got a lot more calls on the line. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, bud. You take it easy, man. Have a good one.
All right now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah. If it was me, if I live where he lived, I ain't driving no Arizona. That's far. If it's more than 5 hours, get me on a plane. All right, let's get to some more here. Let's go 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Chuck. How's it going tonight?
It's all good. What's going on?
Just hanging out. I was gonna ask you with Santa Claus, Christmas. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What do you think about Black Santa?
Well, you said Black Santa.
Yeah.
I don't really care too much. It ain't really no big deal to me.
What's that?
I say I don't really care too much. It's not really a big deal to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just heard. I think Crowder was talking about it and saying wasn't a good thing to have a Black Santa, and I was like, I don't know. I thought I'd ask you. You know, it's not a big deal, but you think it's something that should remain as a white guy?
It's Santa. I mean,
like if you go into the mall, like you see a Black Santa instead of a white Santa, would it be weird?
Nah, because I feel like I've seen a lot of Black Santas before, so it's not really. It wouldn't be anything different. I really don't care. It's
what about like a?
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
I was gonna say, what about like a girl Santa?
I mean, that's kind of silly. You know, I mean, like I think the main thing about Santa, the identifying feature is the white beard and stuff like that, and kind of fat. Like it doesn't really matter to me what race he is, but keep the same aesthetic. As long as keep the same aesthetic, that's fine. You know, they have Miss Santa Claus' wife. Don't promote her to the top. That's just kind of weird. But as far as different races, I don't really care. Now, once you get into certain stories, like they're gonna have like Anne Boleyn, right, the Queen of England back in the day, if I'm not mistaken, and they're gonna make her black. It's like, okay, why? This is a real person, a real queen, and the bloodline still around today, and nobody there was black. So why are we doing that? That's kind of weird to me. But
Well,
you have
that's the thing about Santa Claus. It's about Saint Nick. So
yeah, but
it's
see,
an actual guy.
You know, but the thing is,
actually represents somebody.
But see,
so
the
if you're
thing
doing,
is,
like,
sir, the thing is that ain't no Santa Claus climbing on your chimney giving you gifts, though. You see what I'm saying? So we're talking about at this point a fictional person. Ain't no Santa Claus really in real life. Sorry to anybody that don't know about Santa Claus not being real. Okay, so it doesn't really matter how a fictional character is portrayed necessarily to me, but an actual person like the Queen of England, ain't no Queen of England climbing down your chimney giving you gifts and eating cookies and drinking milk. You understand what I'm saying? Like nobody thinks that Saint Nick. Nobody thinks that Saint Nick is coming down the chimney and giving them a PS5. You did what I'm saying? So the fictional character, sir, I gotta talk, please. So the fictional character of Santa Claus, in my humble opinion, is not the equivalent to Saint Nicholas.
Then what is?
Saint Nicholas is Saint Nicholas, and Santa Claus is Santa Claus. I mean,
what's
like,
the
is
difference?
Saint Nick living? Is Santa Claus a real person? Is Santa Claus like is anybody going to be in the sky with reindeer flying around the globe, handing out gifts in the chimney, eating cookies and drinking milk? I mean, come on, like
just Jesus.
I mean, now you're talking about religion. I don't do that. Now, if you want to do that. Me personally, I'm not religious.
Well, isn't Saint Nick and Christmas and
everything
we're talking about based around religion?
Now, I don't do religion personally, so you can call him. You can have Jesus be whatever you want him to be. Personally, I don't think who they had.
I was just talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think who they had as Jesus.
And what it represents.
I don't think who they had is really.
Represents.
I mean, am I talking or are you talking?
Man who gave away all of his
all
stuff.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't talk while he's talking. Personally, for me, and I was getting triggered because he kept talking while I was talking on like that. But personally, for me, if you got a black Jesus, I don't really. To me, that's not really a thing that matters because how did Jesus actually look? There's always an argument. The feet of bronze. That's up to y'all that believe in that to really argue that point. You know, the Muslims don't do that. Prophet Muhammad, they don't portray him at all. And some people believe that Jesus was the Messiah. Some believe that he was the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's a religious argument. That's a whole different story. You're talking about Santa Claus. All right. So that's pretty much what it is. I mean, Saint Nicholas is a real person, but Santa Claus is not. And the person you see in the mall is not Saint Nick. The person you see in the mall is Santa Claus. So you can have Shrek sitting right there for all I care because it's not a real person. It's debatable on who Jesus actually was. That's a religious argument. What's not religious or up for debate is who Anne Boleyn was. There's physical record, there's documentation, there's DNA, bloodline that still exists right now today. Prince Harry and all of them are descendants of Anne Boleyn, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. That person had me triggered. Let's go to hold on one second. 919, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, I'm doing all right, man. Hey, me and my wife are getting ready to go down to Florida on December 12th, and we're going to see Donald Trump and Bill O'Reilly. We paid a lot of money for these tickets, and I would love to know what question you would like me to ask Donald Trump. I got front row seats, floor B.
Okay. What would you ask Donald Trump? Oh man, I don't even know, man.
Donald Trump, yes, sir.
I don't know. I guess the obvious one would be, are you going to run or no? What's going on?
That's exactly what I want to know, because there's so much highlight about it, and I really hadn't given any more money to the campaign because of that reason, because I don't know where the money's going, because I'm a very confused person in this world right now with what's going on, and I'm very scared of what's going on. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, I mean, what would be your advice? I mean, if you were sitting right there, floor one, 26, 27 seat, and you're in the middle and you get a question to ask him. I mean, I understand the running part. We kind of know what that's going to go to, but would you have any deeper thoughts on that of what you would ask him?
I don't really know, because it's hard for me to really be on the spot. Like, I got to think about it for a while.
I know, and that's where I'm at right now, because I'm a business owner / ninth grade dropout, recovering addict for 30 years, and I know what the government's done to us. So I'm at that point in my life to where they've banged on my door, tried to take everything from me, and banged and banged and banged, and I said no, no, no. Even had liens put against my property for 18 years. And when he came into office, it kind of all got lifted here at the last point, where everybody could redo their loans on their houses or mortgages or however you put it. How would you, I mean, what kind of question would you ask him during that?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to.
Yeah, and I'm the same way, because I don't know how to ask, because it's going to be Bill O'Reilly and Donald Trump.
Yeah, man.
So it's like,
I say whatever they talk about. If they speak or something like that, I say whatever they talk about, ask a good follow-up question to try to go deeper into what they said at that moment. So you can you could be more spontaneous, because it's kind of hard to ask a question or have it already saved, because if you get to ask it,
exactly,
someone else may have already asked it before, or they may answer it during their talk. So be a little bit more spontaneous.
Right.
And
I feel kind of out of place. You know what I mean?
Well,
if I do ask that.
Right. So just, if whatever comes about at that moment, just see if you can ask it that way.
Right. And I have a feeling that's going to happen, and it's going to get deeper and deeper, and it's going to go from, I think we got to be there like at 3 o'clock, and it's go from 3 to 7 p.m. and it's going to be in Orlando, and he's doing one in Homestead or Homeside, Florida, and then he's going to Texas, and it's only going to be 4, and we're leaving Friday for this thing, and we live in North Carolina. So I've been watching you forever, and my wife called you earlier, and she got to talk to you, and I said, man, I've been trying to call him for 3 weeks, and you got to talk to him. So I just want to know your advice on that as far as that goes.
Well, I don't really have too much for you. I just say be spontaneous and just enjoy the moment. And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for fighting for the country, and we love you, brother.
Thank you. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing so far, Go ahead and get a video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Y'all help me out a whole lot. Let's get to some more. All right, 209 your line I'm speaking to.
Hi, this is Paulette, that white woman in California.
All righty.
I was going to call you about COVID, but I have to make a comment about an earlier caller that called in, if I could do that.
Go for it.
She said she was worried about people being friends or foes, and she was rather worried about that. And I just wanted to remind her that strangers or friends you haven't met yet, and don't judge a book by its cover. And if you're a Christian, remember, what would Jesus do? And try smiling and maybe say hello. Because I'm a white woman, and I have smiled, said hello, and found so many women that were so sweet, and they really wanted to be friends and really wanted to talk. And just wanted to let her know that just like everybody else, there's some bad, there's some good. And mostly the women, I mean, we're all mothers. We all have something in common. So that's all I had to say. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Great call. Very good call. Shout out to her. All right. All right, friends, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, let me mute here. How you doing?
It's all good. About yourself?
Everything is good. Everything is good. Well, Anthony, I heard Ivan call, and I decided I gotta call back. I gotta call you. Now, look, when I listen to him, every time these people talk about the Kyle situation, all that comes to my mind is somebody looking like a basketball game from the TV and screaming from the top of the lung like what the guy has to do. Go pass the ball. No, don't go there. No, go to the other side. While the guy with the ball is trying to deal with 3 other opponents at the moment. That's what it comes to my mind. And dude, Kyle had like microseconds to deal with the situation. Okay, so you gotta put yourself in the moment. So it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy.
Exactly.
Okay, you were talking about religion a little bit a while back, but I was going to call regardless to recommend a book. It's called for the people that are listening, it's called The Victory of Reason. Okay, it says How Christianity Led to Freedom, Capitalism, and Western Success by Rodney Stark. Okay, it's I haven't finished the book, but it's a good book. He makes a nice point in the book that many other civilizations, like Chinese, they didn't have like a war for freedom. I'm like, Well, we had a war for freedom. Okay, and that the Western progress is because Christianity was pro freedom. Well, it is pro freedom. Okay, even though it's being, in my opinion, it's being watered down. Now, other thing, the last thing from the call quickly. I want to make a shout out to all the Puerto Ricans in the chat and all those that will listen to this live stream, and to all of you that speak Spanish, understand Spanish. I want them to check a poem, which is called, I'm gonna say it in Spanish. It's called Obao Moin. I'm gonna repeat it. Obao Moin. Peculiarly about this poem is that this poem praises the natives from here, the blacks and the whites. And the poem states that because from them came out our patriotism. Okay.
Right on.
It's a really good poem. And I have a good song, which is a rock song from it. It's very powerful. If anyone is interested to listen to it, they can hop out into our Discord server and just make the mention that somebody mentioned the poem. I'll check it out. Okay. Well, that's all, Anthony. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Good night.
All right. Shouts to my man France for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And you know what? He's talking about there's no word for freedom. There is no word for freedom in Chinese. I was also listening to John Cena. Yes, that John Cena, WWE. He was speaking in Mandarin, and when he was apologizing for something he said, remember that? And he broke Mandarin to say the word information. So what's the Chinese equivalent to the word information? Does that exist or nah? But I'll leave that right there. I'll move on to the next one. Let's go to 609. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Richard.
All righty. What's going on?
Doing good. So, I just wanted to say, it's something about that Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
I think there's an element that a lot of people really don't think about right now. It's if you think about it, if you look through American history, you go through the Boston Massacre. They're talking. The people who were throwing the rocks at the British soldiers. They weren't technically armed either, but they were still. But the British soldiers, their lives were still at risk though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone's a lot of people were saying they were they were getting that Kyle Rittenhouse had started the that he provoked the violence or he provoked them to go after him like that. Even if that's technically true, and I don't believe it is, even if that were true, he was actually fleeing the scene. So that's the thing. It's if you have an armed intruder in your house, you take a shot at him and you take a shot at the intruder and the intruder leaves. That's it. The threat is over. Kyle was basically the fleeing intruder in that case.
That's right.
But if you chase down the intruder, you chase the intruder out of your house and off your property and down the street and you kill the intruder. Now you're the murderer.
That is correct. Absolutely. Good point.
I think that's something a lot of people kind of missed. Nobody really brought that up.
Because there are still certain laws that are here. You can't just do whatever you want to do because you feel like you want to do it. You got to follow the law, and that's what Kyle Rittenhouse did, which is why he's not in the penitentiary right now.
Right. Yeah, there was a YouTube channel called Legal Eagle. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. But he basically, he's a lawyer, and he was taking a legal analysis of the situation, and he pointed out that in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they do not have a duty to retreat clause in their I forget what law it was. It was the law relevant to the case. So in Kenosha, Wisconsin, they don't have duty to retreat, but even if they did, Kyle still met that requirement.
Right.
Because he brought the gun and whether or not he provoked any violence or whatever doesn't matter. He fled. He still retreated from the situation. So when they basically chased him down the street, they were, like I said, they were the homeowners chasing down the intruder.
Right.
That's basically the main thing.
Well, thank you for the call, man.
That I wanted to say. Yeah, no problem.
That's a very good point that he made. Very, very good point. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. So if you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out a whole lot. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? I hope that caller who called you about Santa Claus was a liberal and not a conservative. I really hope he wasn't right because he sounds retarded. Because the thing is, why, you never talk about being offended by race swapping. So, like, what was his point in calling you that? Is he assuming because you are black, you are supposed to be offended, so you have some inferior mindset, and you are weak and emotional, and every character has to be black for your satisfaction? Because that's what it sounds like, and that's usually how liberals view black people. This is why they race swap characters, or they try to include black people in movies and write black characters because they see us as an emotional race who is incapable of creating our own. Because to be honest with you, if these white liberals truly love black people and want to empower black people, why don't you pay black people then? Pay them to write their own stories, But instead, you want us to sit there and beg to include a black character. And shame on black people who do that because they make us all look weak doing that. They make us look like we have no talent, that we got to rely on the white man. Oh, well, then why do they let a people of color in Marvel? Like, why don't you make your own people of color superhero? Like, use your talent. You don't have to always rely on white people because what you're saying is that they are superior to you, and you can't do anything without their approval. So yeah, like I said, I hope that caller wasn't trolling because he needs to get out here with that mess. And the other thing about the Kyle Rittenhouse situation is, I always got to go back to black people because it's just frustrating how a lot of us is putting our black skin into this, giving white liberals power and making them look like victims against a quote unquote racist white supremacist system when it was white on white. But of course, when we behave that way, all we do is give white liberals power. That's it. That is all we do. And then we have these idiot black folks when they see the Proud Boys, they're gonna say, well, he's with Kyle Rittenhouse, and they're gonna be out there protesting. The Proud Boys, who really is not even, they're not. I don't know any African American who died by the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys is going after Antifa and rioters and looters. I don't know any Proud Boy that rolled up into an African American neighborhood and started shooting black people. It doesn't exist. But to me, man, with the Kyle Rittenhouse, it seems like a lot of black liberals who profit off of black guilt, who profit off of telling black people that you ain't nothing because a white man's foot is always on your neck, somehow had to get black people involved in this, even though it had nothing to do with this. So what they say things is like it's a BLM rally, even though it's a bunch of Antifa white people over here looting and burning stuff down. It was a BLM rally. So they try to put the whole thing of it being, they were stopping our white allies who were fighting for us. And I'm like, so fighting for black people is to send your white children to black neighborhoods and burn it up, and that's fighting for black people. And then when you go back home to nothing. Your economic situation is exactly the same. You're still whining about the exact same problems, but that's a victory because a white man has acknowledged that you're suffering. See, I'm telling you, bro, this is the problem with our community. Seriously, our community is not trying to actually do what's best for black people. What they're trying to do is they're trying to change how white people view them. That's all they want. They want white people to view them in a certain light, and they honestly believe, white liberals also foster this behavior because they only promote these type of black people. But we are the only race in history that cannot do anything until white people love us. And liberals know this. They're gonna keep fostering this to the black community because they know that the black community is never gonna come together and just demand anything economically. They're never gonna come together and demand anything tangible. They're always going to be white liberal pawns and slaves. And yeah, bro, so to me, this is why the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing is the way it is, primarily to just keep the black folks in a victim mindset and to show how black liberals, I'm not going to say all black people, are slaves to the white liberal. And that's all I got to say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
I take care.
That was masterfully said. Shout out to my man Tariq for that. Very, very good call. Said it perfectly. 100%. The phone lines are still jumping. I'm sorry, but I got to go. I have to go. Hopefully you guys come on next time. I will be here taking calls. But thank you all for being here. It's been a great show. Them 3 hours just flew by like it wasn't nothing. So I'll be back again live on Wednesday. So if you didn't get a chance to call in, I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. And I'll be here throughout the week posting just pre-recorded videos, about 10 minutes long or so. And I'll be putting out a lot more content. I'm going to try to do my other channel as well. I'll let y'all know about that pretty soon. But yeah, so that's what I got going on. Thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoyed what you heard tonight, please like the video, share the video. And if you're not subscribed, please do so as well. This will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. I got super chats to read right here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. Shout out to the mods. We had a few mods in the building tonight, but thank y'all for being here, doing what y'all do. Couldn't do it without you. And let's go to the supers and then close it on out. And where was I? Let's find my last place. Hold on one second. Let's see. Okay. I think it's a Joe Ryder 84 who says the left loves the virus. Who in their right mind would love to give up their liberties by wearing 2 masks and support restrictive laws? Exactly. I think it's a John China rather than John Cena who says negative 3 million social credit. I think it's a Butt versus Windshield who says that lame caller, are you blank, was bad. He made Brian Potato Head Seltzer look smart. I think it's a Cat MCC for the love with the heart emojis and ABL. Appreciate you. I think it's a Butt versus Windshield who says, hold on, let me go back to where I was. I lost my place. Okay, he says, it's day 112 of Americans trapped by terrorists in Afghanistan. Biden has forgotten them. We can't let them down. Email your Congress representative. Thank you to Michael Guest who says, Baldwin, you had a very big mouth, old man, to have been that careless. Thank you to Big Mo who says, CNN just terminated Chris Fredo Cuomo. This may seal CNN's fate. RIP CNN. Not nice knowing you. Shout out to Just Cause who says, call ICE. Call it is illegal. Thank you to Butt versus Windshield who says, Ivan is while on a Sir coffee cup. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Lee who says, I do so miss Ivan, our comment relief, but not that much. Keep that excellent work, ABL. Thank you for that. Thank you to Noah Garcia who says, I hope Trump goes on SNL and does an Alec Baldwin bit. Oh, man, you got to do it. Got to do it. That'd be fantastic. Thank you to Glenn C. Baker Jr. who says, if we're going to call out the cultural appropriation lunatics, we've got to accept Black Santa, two-way street. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, I don't even really. That was the weirdest argument. I don't care about no Black Santa. That's not real. Santa Claus is not real. I'm sorry for the kids listening. You should not be up right now. If you're up right now, you're an adult, so it's fine. It's now if you make Anne Boleyn be a Black woman, it's like, or if you make Shaka Zulu be white, it's like, why? Why do that? That's a real person. The person up in the sky with some reindeer dropping PS5s from the clouds is not real. Saint Nick did not do that in reality. You're talking about cartoon characters. But I'm getting triggered already, so I'll move on. Butt versus Windshield says, to rub it in Joe's face, I'd ask Trump what was the major difference he was going to do in Afghanistan withdrawal and how to get Americans out now. Thank you to Apple who says, I once heard a great wise man say, quote, God don't like ugly, unquote. Avenatti, Baldwin, 2 Cuomos. Who's next, ABL? I hope Schiff or Pelosi or Podesta. Hey, let's get a whole hat trick. How about that? Thank you to Apple who says Chris Cuomo should go on Tucker, tell the truth on CNN. Hey man, let it all hang out. You done got fired now. Let it all hang out. Give an expose. How about that? Thank you to Santo Bartez who says another great show. Chat was lit as usual. Peace. Thank you for the super chat, man. Definitely appreciate you. But that'll be a wrap for me. I'll be back live again on Wednesday and Saturday of next week, of course. And I'll be back with my pre-recorded videos on Monday, as usual. Monday through Saturday, pre-recorded videos, 2 a day, if I can. But that'll be a wrap. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.